From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Katie Britt is pushing for the Laken Riley Act to be voted on in the U.S. Senate. So far, that bill has been delayed twice from heading to the Senate floor for a vote. The bill would require federal agencies like U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to detain and deport illegal immigrants who commit a crime like theft, burglary, larceny, or shoplifting. The bill is named after Georgia nursing student Laken Riley, who was murdered by an illegal alien while she was out on a jog at the UGA campus. Britt is now the lead sponsor of the Laken Riley Act, and she is currently battling against Senate Judiciary Chairman Dick Durbin, who continuously objects to and blocks the bill from passing in that committee. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
The National Weather Service was on the ground in Cherokee County to examine storm damage that came in Monday morning. The NWS now confirms that an EF1 tornado landed about 4 miles northeast of Sand Rock. That twister was on the ground for about 3.4 miles with winds of 105 miles per hour. Downed trees and structural damage are a result of the storm. No injuries have been reported. A drowning occurred over the holiday weekend in St. Clair County. 72-year-old Delbert Shaw of Riverside fell into the waters while trying to dock a pontoon boat on Sunday on Logan Martin Lake. Marine Patrol troopers with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency are looking into this case. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Welcome to Epicure and Jack's Tavern, where they cherish their seniors. Dive into their $9.99 senior-sized meat and 3 lunch specials, Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Each meal comes with a refreshing drink and a roll. It's time to savor the flavors that feel like home. Epicure and Jack's Tavern, where tradition meets taste.
Brunch lovers, rejoice. Every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Epicure and Jack's Tavern offers an exquisite brunch menu alongside their meat and 3 specials. Start your weekend right with the best local flavors. Remember, they're in the old Fantail building, waiting to make your Saturday special.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, mister, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. News and Views in the afternoon, or if you're watching online, we call this little thing Joey Clark Live. Appreciate everybody joining in on the X platform. If you're just tuning in, this is just a humble little talk show out of Montgomery, Alabama. This is my co-host, Eddie Bader. How you doing, Eddie?
Wonderful. How you doing, Joey?
I'm all right. And on Wednesdays, we always begin the show, and I like doing this very much. The one, the only Jeff Poor, host of the Jeff Poor Show there in the Mobile, Fair Hope area, 106.5 FM. Check it out, folks. And, of course, also editor-in-chief at 1819 News. Jeff, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing well, Joey. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being on the program. So, the breaking news seems to be nationally that this Judge Merchan or whatever, has given instructions to this jury in the Trump trial that it doesn't have to be unanimous. So I guess my question is, first, your reaction to that. Second, if they actually convict this guy with a pretty, unique legal theory on how they can go about convicting him. What do you think the reaction's going to be?
So, just to clarify, my understanding is it still has to be, they still vote, and it still has to be like a unanimous vote, but how you arrived at your guilty verdict vote, it has to be, it could be a number of different ways. All the different things that the prosecution has brought, maybe that's your reason for convicting, or maybe this is your reason for convicting, or whatever. So you can't have like two people who are voting for or who are calling for an acquittal, and then the rest of the jury says convict, 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 and then you move on from there. It's a much different sort of circumstance than that. They still got to get a unanimous vote. So, but that being said, it's like this judge has boxed in this jury to get the verdict that he wants, and he doesn't care that it's going to be overturned on appeal, that there are multiple grounds for appeal here. So we'll see. I don't see this hurting Trump at all. It's going to be fascinating to watch the reaction to it. But, I mean, Joey, what if they don't get what? The longer this goes on, the longer this jury stays out, the less likely I think they're going to get a guilty verdict. If it comes back soon, by the end of the day, probably got a guilty verdict. If it goes beyond today, they got the prosecution's got some problems. We're talking about a hung jury and a possible mistrial.
Well, every week I talk with Judge Andrew Napolitano, and he is, let's say, doesn't hold back on what he believes, and he certainly isn't a fan of Trump these days. But even he said yesterday, I don't think this prosecutor proved the case, and it makes you wonder I guess he'll get a payday. He'll be in the history books for convicting a former president, the front runner to be the president again. And you do get great moments of levity where, did you see the video where Trump walked out before entering the courtroom and he said something to the effect of, Mother Teresa could not beat the charges against me, comparing himself to Mother Teresa. So in a way, I think this ends up being a wash, or it ends up helping Trump, in my opinion.
Anytime you create a martyr, and that's what they're going to do here, I think no matter what happens, acquittal or hung jury, mistrial is a Trump W. And if he does lose, they're creating a martyr. It may not be a scoreboard W, but we're going to see the impact of this. I think really there's going to be some upset people. No matter how this turns out, I mean, this just isn't. It isn't as simple as saying, well, now he's a convicted felon, you can't vote for him, or we don't, that's going to change your mind. I think the public just sees this as like reality TV almost.
Exactly. Now, speaking of reality TV, the Trump Veep stakes. Who do you think at this point in the race is probably going to be Trump's VP?
I think you always look at the candidate who is the most low-key. He's not going to bring in. It's just Trump doesn't want somebody overshadowing him. That you look at Mike Pence. Think about all the names we were talking about in 2016, and Pence probably wasn't on a lot of people's radar. And then, obviously later on it came to be that he was on people's radar over time. But I think initially, it was, Scott Walker, Ted Cruz, or whoever some of the other front runners were. But that seems to be his playbook. So look, who's low key, and then the names Tim Scott, Ben Carson. I don't think it's going to be Kristi Noem. I don't think it's going to be Katie Britt. I don't think it's going to be anybody like that. It's going to be like, wow, look at this. I think it's going to be somebody who will just kind of do the president's or former president's bidding.
And I almost wonder, is the curveball somebody young who is, to your point, low key, but well spoken, can deliver the message? Like Byron Donalds, for instance, has been in the conversation a lot. He's very young, and congressman from Florida. But to me, that seems like the one outlier that Trump could go young, try to pass the torch, and have essentially a great spokesman on his behalf.
The only thing you've got to worry about with a guy like Byron Donalds, I mean, there's so many unknowns with some of these lesser knowns. And that's why I think the senator from South Carolina, and I think Carson, who was sort of vetted by the media during the 2016 primary, Donald, who knows? I mean, these things have a way of like. I know that historically, Joey, presidential campaigns do a really, really like butt down job of vetting their candidates for vice president. But I mean, how do we feel about the Trump campaign here and doing the same? I don't know. I'm maybe not as confident about that. But yeah, I mean, I would put him in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see where it goes. This is all just fun speculation at this point, folks. And again, we're talking to Jeff Poor. And so let's do some Alabama stuff, a little crossover with this District 2 race. I'm looking at this District 2 race, but I'm also looking at a lot of the headlines that have been at 1819 News, the back and forth between Reed Ingram and the mayor's chief of staff, the crime figures here in Montgomery, especially the shootings, getting national attention, I believe, a write-up in the New York Times. Do you think crime could actually be an issue in this District 2 race that nobody really expected?
I think the Dobson campaign could make something of that, I suppose. And then the connection would be, obviously, Shamari Figures, having served on Merrick Garland, the Attorney General's staff. I mean, she's already kind of hinted at doing that with some of the deep state stuff. At least in appearances on my radio show, I could see it. I guess I don't know. They really got to. There's a lot of I suspect, I don't know for a fact, but there's a lot of probably a pretty thick file of oppo that the Dobson campaign may be able to use if needed.
I have a pretty good source, of course I won't reveal, and what I'm hearing is Shamari Figures is pretty clean in terms of like any scandal, so to me this is probably going to come down to some issue that you can drive as a wedge, not something from the past, unless something is there and they find it.
His wife, if I'm not misstating or misunderstanding it, she was like one of the like diversity officers in some government bureaucracy and has made some kind of on video some comments about things in the past. Is that fair game? Do you use a candidate's wife's comments? I mean, apparently it's fair game if you're a Supreme Court justice, but would especially in Alabama with the media culture being what it is, I don't know. I mean, I don't. And there's a lot of unknowns about Shamari Figures too. I mean, I think I don't know that he's necessarily as clean, but like you said, I have no reason to believe otherwise.
Right, and I mean, to be in the position he was at with the Attorney General's office of the United States, you have to be fairly, I'd imagine, buttoned up. So we'll see. But to me, then coming back to this issue of crime, is Montgomery truly unique? Are you having the same problems in your neck of the woods in the Mobile area?
We're having a similar vein with the turmoil within the city's police department. Yeah, I mean, right now in Mobile, the police chief is the former police chief was let go by the city council. There was an investigation, and there's an investigation into an investigation about policing tactics. All this policing tactics and stuff. That the police are too heavy-handed, and it's like we're fighting in Alabama the wars of 4 years ago about policing tactics in our cities. It's having an impact on the police departments directly. It's, I think, impacting the crime. I think the trend certainly favors an increase in crime, and yeah, so we're not quite where we're. No one's driving down Airport Boulevard and getting paralyzed from crossfire, but there are some tenets of that.
Well, and it is to our credit, little r Republican form of government, that our government isn't a monolith where some center of authority can do everything, be the judge, jury, and executioner. But it seems like because our system has everybody with their own turf, I'm thinking of that Spider-Man meme where it's the Spider-Men pointing at one another. So is it the DA's fault? Is it the mayor and the police department's fault? Is it the fault of the legislature in Alabama? And it seems like nobody wants to actually address the issue or own the issue straight up. And my sense is it's not necessarily the DA or the legislature. There is, I think, a good argument that the courts are very constipated, very backed up, huge backlog there. But I mean, are you seeing the same thing? All this finger pointing?
Yeah, the same thing. Maybe not to quite the extent you guys in Montgomery are with Chip Hill and Representative Ingram. I think it's a little absurd to blame the Alabama legislature for crime in Montgomery. I don't think that you can blame constitutional carry, because where I'm sitting at here today on the eastern shore of Baldwin County, we don't have the crime that Montgomery has. Yet we have the same Alabama legislature that Montgomery has. So that is a constant. What's the variable? The variable is, well, something going on in Montgomery. Don't know what it is, but there is something that is causing crime to go up, and there is no good answer from that city's administration.
What do you make of Reed Ingram's idea of essentially going to the state and having, if a city or municipality reaches a certain threshold of crime, then the state, the AG, could appoint, say, a task force of all the law enforcement involved in the area? I mean, what do you make of his attempts at addressing this issue?
It reminds me of when the courts took over the Montgomery Public Schools, Joey. I mean, that was not long ago, and not the courts, but the state did. And then they sort of rolled off. I mean, it sounds like a similar solution. Number one, how expensive is it? I mean, there's got to be some kind of cost prohibition there. And then the second part, I would say, I don't know, that seems like the nuclear option. The people of Montgomery elected Stephen Reed. They for whatever reason, wanted Stephen Reed to lead that city, and they want him to be responsible and appoint the police chief. Well, this is the government that you have elected. This is the government that you deserve. I mean, just in general, I'm not crazy about that idea unless it just really gets to a point where it's like Phoenix City 1955 or something.
Right, and maybe it is sort of the threat to try to get the mayor to go in a certain direction. I've been saying for weeks now that the number one thing the mayor can do to send a message isn't any speech, it's who he hires to be the next chief. What type of chief are you going to hire? What type of mission are you going to give who you hire? And we'll go from there. But I also wonder, and maybe this is a sore spot or I shouldn't touch, but we look at how much tourism is coming to Montgomery, especially with the EJI Center. And when you look at that philosophy, it seems like reality is running into ideology. That they're essentially saying all these young black men in prison is the new Jim Crow, and yet the vast majority of this crime, especially the homicides and shooting, is young black men killing other young black men. So what are you going to do with the police force? If the whole reason is to pull back, and in fact, your city's known in the, say, progressive origin story of the 60s for playing a huge role, and you want to continue that, and yet you're seeing this crime problem, something's got to give here. And I think we need to address reality, not just play to our priors, ideological priors.
I mean, why not just go back to Todd Strange and what he was doing? I mean, it wasn't necessarily turning the water hoses and tear gas on protesters or anything like that, but why do we need to radically invent the wheel? I mean, there was something that worked in the past. Now, look, I think maybe culture is changing. And Joey, the other thing I think, I mean, in a post-George Floyd sort of world, that the police are told to stand down, and I think that's why maybe the Capitol Police didn't do their job at stopping the J6 protesters. So maybe you have to tweak it a little bit, but I don't think you need to just overhaul the entire institutions and change the way we do things.
Right, unless it's really broken. And I'm more in the camp of let's see who the mayor hires right now, but I also at the same time appreciate at least the threat out there that, hey, you're going to blame us here in the state? Well, okay, the state will take care of the problem then. And it seems tit for tat, so to speak. But I always appreciate your time, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, think about, how can they do so?
Twitter.com/Jeff_Poor.
Got it pulled up on the live stream right now, folks. You still, I see you post those pictures of the dog. Does the dog really care that you're a big talk radio star?
He insists on being in the studio here and just goes to sleep. And I'll yelling at the wall into a microphone like an insane man, and he doesn't even flinch.
Yeah, I need to get one of those. So just bring it back down to earth. Well, appreciate it, Jeff. Talk again soon.
Thanks for being on, Joey.
Poor folks always enjoy conversations and insights, especially when it comes to the news media and Alabama politics. He's got a leg up on me for certain. I mean, what do you think, Eddie, of this, in particular, the crime angle to all this? Could into being a national issue in our congressional race. And I think, we talked to Rita from yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you think it is, as Jeff laid it out there, nuclear option?
I don't know if it's a nuclear option, but being what's going to happen between now and Election Day, crime might become a national issue. What if we start having riots again, the brick pallets and pallet full of bricks and that kind of crime would certainly raise probably to the level above illegals.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and this is what really...
Oh, I'm very anxious about it.
November, yeah.
I mean,
like, what is up, especially if the lawfare stuff fails, Biden continues to falter, and we got plenty of headlines, folks, not from conservative folks who are always crapping on Biden. I mean, like Politico, Axios, like all the Democratic main organs, the cool kids are a little wary themselves. So what did they do?
They had Zanero come out and speak out for him. I mean, that certainly helped, didn't it? I was waiting for him to catch an egg in the face, man.
It was so bad.
It was horrible. I was embarrassed.
So bad.
And, did you hear the horn in the background? It just honk, honk, honk.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. And I'm not a fan, but if I ever become of a certain age like that and I start doing silly things like that, pull me to the side. I'm trusting you, Joey. Pull me to the side and say, hey.
What if it's very entertaining for me to watch?
Give it once or twice, but then come on, pull me to the side. Pull me to the side, man.
Well, let's play an example of this with De Niro yesterday. Because this is the silly side of all the crap that we're seeing out there. But let's check out. I don't know if I've got De Niro on the ready. No, this is Trump's guy, Jason Miller, talking about De Niro being there. Let's just listen in.
Making this a campaign event after months of weaponizing the legal system against President Trump because Joe Biden's numbers are in the tank. The headline for today in Politico very simply said, Dems in freakout over Joe Biden. Joe Biden is losing nationally, is losing in every single battleground state, and President Trump's numbers continue to rise. And the best that Biden can do is roll out a washed-up actor. And don't worry, my remarks will be shorter than The Irishman. I won't make you suffer for 3 hours.
No, and this keeps happening with this administration. It's like Blinken. We've talked about this before. It's become like boomer caricature.
Yeah.
It's like they're yearning for their golden years, trying to recreate, that juice that was there, say, in the 60s. Right. So Blinken in Ukraine at a bar, keep on rocking in the free world. And it's like, well, that didn't work. Let's bring out Robert De Niro. Everybody loves, gangster movies, especially New Yorkers.
This kind of crap is hurting the American brand.
Yeah.
Big time.
No, we're not creating anything new.
Not at all.
And we keep acting like, well, we're the same that we've always been. No, we're not. Mm-mm. I've been, and we'll have to read his piece a little later. Victor Davis Hanson's new book, The End of Everything. Mm-hmm. It is chilling. He gives an example in history. Think of Constantinople. The walls of Constantinople will never be broken down.
Right.
And in fact, there have been a lot of invaders who tried and whatnot. But by the time the Arabs and the Ottomans take it over, the city is a just awful, diminished version of itself. Like, you're talking a city that was in the tens of millions was down to 1 million. Same thing happened with Rome. Like, all of a sudden you think, well, we're Constantinople, we're Rome. Like, nothing will ever happen to us bad.
Yeah.
But generations change. And I think the generation still holding on is really messing things up.
No doubt. But that's a big difference between us and China. China has the 200-year plan, where we have the 5-week, 6-week plan. I mean, everything they do is for long term. And we started this nation that way.
Right.
But we've quickly gone to the short-term fixes. Look at our houses. Look at our construction.
Right. Well, and then speaking of China, more activity around Taiwan with their exercises.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking great in Ukraine either. And, man, what's going on with Israel and Gaza? You might agree with what Israel's doing, but the isolation is real. Like the heat that's being turned up by Turkey, Egypt, many others, and then China coming in to play a big hand. essentially pulling all the Arab nations away from the United States.
We saw this coming. I think even about a year ago, we mentioned this exact same thing happened.
Yep.
The Chinese coming in and literally taking our allies.
Well, and I said at the beginning of the Ukraine war, it's going to be China that brokers a peace deal there.
Over money. I mean, look, India, China, all these allies that used to be standing tall with us we are pushing them away. I won't say
by trying
China's
to
buying them off.
claim we're still as strong as we used.
Look at some of the goals and things that we push out there.
It's not the 90s anymore. And I don't know how people came across this idea that because I'm morally right and on the right side of history means I can force my ideas on people to the point of overthrowing entire nations. Like, when did you think that was a good thing? That you're morally justified in killing hundreds of thousands, displacing millions, which is the number when you look at Iraq and Afghanistan. Yep. And has it really solved our issues?
Not at all, Joey.
It's just a bloody mess. It really is. And on that happy note, hey, let's hit a break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
All of you need to bring your A game.
2 helpings of Gordon.
It's like a food assault.
Fox tonight.
Let's eat.
First, the premiere of MasterChef Generations.
Gen Z, Millennials, Generation X, Baby Boomers. Which generation is going to win it all?
Then, Lisa Vanderpump joins Gordon Ramsay in the search for the next great food star.
You ready?
Born ready.
In a head-to-head competition.
You're desperate to win, aren't you?
All new food stars. Tonight on Fox 20.
Imagine a world where animals and humans coexist in harmony, where wild animals thrive, habitats are protected, and marginalized communities are empowered. At International Animal Rescue, this is our vision. Our holistic, community-led projects not only rescue animals, but also protect and replenish precious habitats, creating a better future for us all. But we can't do this without you. Show your support now and help keep the wild, wild. Visit internationalanimalrescue.org.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors, Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive. Of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time, every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Well, hi, everybody. As the month of May comes to a close, we've got some more nice days ahead. Should be dry today, mostly sunny, not too humid, high temperature in the upper 80s. It will be cloudy at times tonight, Overnight low 67. And then a sun and cloud mix tomorrow with a high in the mid-80s. We'll be in the upper 80s Friday, still dry, lots of sun. And over the weekend, first weekend of June, on Saturday and Sunday, expect some scattered random storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Hey y'all, this is Steve Kirkpatrick for Big Block Designs. I haven't always been a drafter. I grew up in the radio TV broadcasting business in Pensacola, which is why I know the value of advertising on Blue Water Broadcasting. And you know the first thing you do when you get in the car is turn on the radio. Blue Water Broadcasting gets results. Big Block Designs has grown because we advertise with Blue Water. It works. Want to grow your business? You should too. Have a better day.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. We're awaiting the arrival of Erica Thomas of 1819 News, editor-at-large there. And we got some calls rolling in. Let's go to Urbanite. Hey, Urbanite.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, here's the deal. We know there's going to be some necessary deportations if Trump wins, but I feel like he is almost not the person to do it because of the way he doesn't construct or communicate. How would you do it if you had to deport, like, say, 50 million, 20 million people?
Oh, I have no clue where I would begin there, man.
Start with incentive, and then you just
that's
start
all right.
tightening the net. I mean, it's an impossible task, let's be honest. But
wait. You want to give them my money for them to leave my
no,
country?
no, not incentive cash like that. More like an incentive. I guess we'd have to spend some of your cash, but more of an incentive like, hey, if you come down here, we'll make it a little easier, just like the cops do when they show up at your house. You can come out, you can make this the easy way, or you can do it the hard way.
Well, yeah.
Easy way is usually a lot less bruisier.
I'm thinking when he wins, there'll probably be a small percentage of self-deportations
I think
anyway.
you're right. I think you're right there too.
But I also know the left, and their legal warfare is going to go on steroids at that point too. That's why I know at this point he needs to be practicing what to say, how to say it, and already have a game plan.
But let's think about it this way, Urbanite. If they're here, and I don't know how much they're getting, but let's say they're getting $7,000 a month. You go to each one of them, you go, okay, for one, you cut that off immediately. You just cut that off. But for two, hey, I'll give you a one-time payment of X grand if you come to the border, meet you at the border on the other side.
And there's also ways you've got to corral local law enforcement.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And there's strings attached with federal funding, these sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I mean, I don't know even if it wasn't Trump, say it's a young guy who seems to have the savvy like a Vivek Ramaswamy, it's a heck of a task, Herculean even.
Yeah, because I heard Rubio say it's way more than 11 million.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt. Yeah.
But, all right, then, you guys have a good one.
You too, Urbanite. See you, man.
272-9228. Hey, Eddie, joining us now on the live stream. We have the one, the only Erica Thomas,
oh, nice.
1819 News. Hey, Erica, how you doing?
Hey, I just messed my hair up with these headphones. Can y'all hear me?
You're a little choppy here.
Can you hear
me? I can hear you, but you're a little choppy. Can you hear me?
Sound like audio.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I'm on the internet, so.
You can just try calling us if you like. Okay. Or can you see me right now? Do you hear me right now?
I'll be back.
Okay.
See, it's supposed to be so easy, but when you're on that end, and I've been there, just like these stupid Zoom calls.
Right.
Hello? Is anybody there? And meanwhile, there's three of you young turds in the background laughing at the old guy going, hello? Hello?
Hey, Dad, you going to be okay?
Right. Just stop.
Hey, Eddie, you all right? You okay? 272-9228. That should be Erica calling in right there with kind of our local news breakdown. Before we get to all that, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and there at Pest Pro, Ashley and her team are ready to help you with any of your pest control needs. It could be, you got termite problems to worry about. In fact, you should just go ahead and get a termite treatment done.
I would. Because in Alabama, it's not a matter of if you have termites, it's a matter of when.
It really
no
is.
No doubt about it.
And it's a lot more expensive to actually fix those repairs.
Oh, yeah.
If they start chewing into your property.
Ounce prevention worth a pound of cure, baby.
Ugh, goodness gracious. But it's not just termites. It could be mosquitoes that are bedeviling you in your yard. You actually want to enjoy the pool or the front porch or something.
That'd be nice.
Well, they can treat your yard for those nasty, nasty mosquitoes, which are nasty creatures.
Well,
they come after you, man.
Not only that, you got the fire ants.
Oh, yeah.
You might see the mound over there, and you're maybe 5-10 yards away from the mound, but you get bit because
Right.
they're all over your yard.
And we usually say, especially if you've got kids or like dogs.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. Even if you're a grown man, you're like, I know not to step in it.
It hurts.
You're going to step in it.
Yeah.
Like, one of these days, you're going to be out there messing around, not thinking, and you're going to step in it.
Yep.
So have Pest Pro come and take care of that, or any of your pest control needs. In fact, we recommend you make them your everyday pest control company. That number, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. So we're going to try again. We have Erica Thomas of 1819 News. She's the editor at large there. Hey, Erica.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we're all right.
I'm not sure what happened. Technology is never a for sure thing. So,
Well, tell me about State Rep Simpson. He says, I'm tired of the people of Montgomery telling all the rest of us how we have to live in the great state of Alabama. How to do life, as he puts it. Where's he coming from?
Well, he spoke last night to the Common Sense campaign in Baldwin County, and he was kind of this legislative session, which we've all heard. The big things were gaming. And then for him, the ethics reform was huge because he spent so much time, working through new laws, things that needed to be changed. Definitely, a lot of the ethics laws need to be clarified. One example that he used was something that happened here in Mobile on radio. We had an ethics commissioner came in, and he was saying some things about Matt Simpson's bill to reform ethics, and very negative things. Called him a Democrat. And then Simpson came on later, really unaware he has himself violated ethics laws and committed a felony because he contributed to a campaign. And so that was just his example, kind of, and he was talking about that last night, kind of where he was from the inside during that whole process, where his mind was, what he was thinking. And he told some really interesting stories, but his thing is like, it's time to let people live. It's time to get these things figured out, because he said even him, after studying all these ethics laws, he still has to call the ethics commission and say, is this okay? Can I do this? Because he's just unsure.
Yeah, I mean, and I'd imagine he was the point on that. He's a little frustrated. I thought he was going to advocate, though, seeing like that headline, like abolishing the legislature or something. I would be all for that. I think it'd make Alabama like great.
Yeah.
I think after talking for over an hour last night about some of the things that failed in the legislature and some of the things that they did have victories on, he was just saying that, like it's definitely time that we let the people live. Like, people in Montgomery can't just tell everybody how to live and how to do life. And I thought it was a very interesting quote, but very powerful. He was speaking very powerful. And he even said, like, not everyone with the Common Sense campaign agrees with everything that he says. Something interesting with gaming was he says, I'm not pro gaming, but I voted for this gambling bill. And so that was interesting. But he said if the vote would have come up in November for Alabamians, at that point he would have voted no.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad that that session's now in the rearview mirror. We'll see what they come up with next time. My wallet, my liberties feel a little safer for the time being, though more to Rep. Simpson's point, does need to get done. Shifting gears, you had a great Memorial Day story you put out about an Alabama woman honoring her late husband. Tell the audience a little bit about that.
So this woman is from Jacksonville, Alabama, and so is her late husband, Brooke Comfort. And her husband was U.S. Army Ranger Captain Kyle Comfort, and he was killed in Afghanistan. He was a ranger based out of Fort Benning. Well, it used to be Fort Benning. I still call it that because that's where my family's from, and that's where I grew up. So I'm just always going to call it that. But he was killed on May 8th, 2010, which May 8th is already a sad day for Brooke, but then you have Memorial Day right after that. So when she found out, and I have this story on 1819news.com about exactly what happened the moment she was told by those officers that, we regret to inform you. It's heartbreaking. But what's really, really sad about the whole thing is she had a 6-month-old baby sleeping upstairs. They had just had a baby. And I have a personal part of this. I saw Captain Kyle Comfort before he deployed. So I'm one of those that knows that he was just, his last name was perfect. Like, he was such a comforting force. I had a bunch of friends going to Afghanistan, and he looked at me and he said, I've done this so many times. There is a danger, but we're going to do everything we can. We are very well trained. We're going to do everything we can to fight for our country. We know what the cost might be, but we're going to try our best to come back. And so he comforted me personally. And so talking to Brooke Comfort this weekend, her daughter is now 14 years old. So And her daughter's birthday just happens to be on Veterans Day. So that's even more amazing. But she has lived her life. This child has lived her life not knowing anything other than the fact that her father was an American hero, a true hero. He gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. They don't make men like they used to, but he was one of those that he was definitely the old school fight for what's right kind of thing. And he just did everything the right way. And that's why he was a captain, an Army Ranger captain.
Well, and a true protector and provider. And I encourage folks, because it's, as you were telling the story there, I was looking at all the photos that you've assembled in the actual piece here at 1819news.com. And man, that's heartbreaking, but it's also beautiful that she's able to honor him in that way. Moving on
these
here.
Are the kind of stories that need to be told more.
Yes.
I was saying these are the kind of stories that need to be told more to, impact our nation and make people see what sacrifices have been made for our freedom. Because every single thing that we do, every hot dog you ate on Memorial Day, every person that you saw, that was all possible because of these sacrifices that people have made for generations after generation. And it's time that we stand up again and we find that pride deep within us. And these are the kind of stories that can ignite that and make change.
Amen. Amen. Now, moving on to another story you're covering, and this could pertain to anybody who's thinking about, maybe having a vacation down on the Gulf Coast. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration just put out a prediction about how active the Atlantic hurricane season is going to be. So how active?
Well, they're thinking it's going to be above average active, forecasting between 17 and 25 named storms 13 hurricanes. So that's well above the average of the past 30 years, which is 14 named storms. And so, yeah, if you're planning a vacation, be sure to look. I moved down to the coast a year and a half ago, and my thing is I'm not going to be here. Sorry, plenty ahead of time when it's coming. So if you have somewhere to go ahead and make plans to do that. But if you see a forecasted storm and you have insurance for your vacation, be sure to go ahead and take advantage of that, because you do not want to get stuck down here with one of these hurricanes, because they're really thinking they're going to be very powerful, large storms this year.
Well, I need to go shake my father, because at this point, last time a hurricane came through, they just stayed. And I'm like, you're right on the bay. What are you...
Riding it out.
So I hope you haven't been there that long to where you don't care anymore. It sounds like you do care, warning everybody.
I will be the first one out. I will be getting the gas, packing up. Me, my 2 dogs, and my bird and my hermit crabs. We're going to be... Well, actually, I might leave the hermit crabs here because they probably wouldn't mind. But we're going to be in Wedowee, Alabama. I'll be reporting from there for sure. And you should tell your dad to come stay with you, because Montgomery's much safer.
In terms of hurricanes. Yeah. Now, a follow-up to another story we've discussed. Another woman received a mystery ring in the mail. And again, let's explain this scam.
Yeah, this is called the brushing scam. And the authorities have already warned about this for a while now, a little over 2 years. They've been saying, look, if you get luxury items in the mail that you didn't order, it could definitely be part of this massive brushing scam that's happening. So a lady in Alabama, in East Alabama, reached out to me about a month ago and told me her story. She got a really beautiful ring in the mail, and it was her birthday week, plus she had lost her wedding ring. So she thought her husband was surprising her with this beautiful ring. But as soon as she picked it up, she was like, this is fake. And then she looked at the address where it came from. She grew suspicious. It all came from her making an online purchase on a sketchy website. So that's the good thing. We know now, like, be careful when you're ordering stuff online. Make sure that, the website's legitimate. And so a couple of weeks ago, another lady called me and she said, the same thing happened to me. So this is happening to multiple people. I got another call yesterday. Another woman got the same ring. It's a Cartier ring. It appears to be a Cartier ring. It's definitely not. And so I've had, 3 people so far reach out to me about it. And I work for 1819 News, and I want to tell people about this, but there's no telling how many people haven't seen this story and don't know the dangers, because once you get the ring in the mail, there's a QR code to register, like for your warranty on a ring from Cartier. So don't do that, because that's how they get your information. Once you scan that QR code, they have access to all your personal information that's on your phone.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, if you get a gift that's too good to be true and just odd out of the blue, ignore it.
Yeah.
Or report it, actually, is
Yes.
a good way to go about it. Well, and you got to watch out, folks. So many scams these days. Well, I always appreciate the time, Erica, and great seeing you here on the live stream. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, all the work you do, how can they do so?
They can definitely go to 1819news.com and see my work and all of the work from all of our reporters. That we have reporters in Montgomery, in the Birmingham area, South Alabama. We're all over the place. So we're trying to keep up with all the news that you're not going to see anywhere else. We're going to tell you the truth. News that matters, really. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can click on one of my stories, and my email address is always in the bottom of my stories. It's erica.thomas@1819news.com.
Well, I really appreciate it, Erica, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Joey.
Again, folks, always great having Erica Thomas on the program. And if you want to hop in now, 272-9228. Before we hit this break, though, Eddie, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting.
Oh, yeah.
You've used them many a times. A lot
Many,
of our
many
listeners have, too.
Oh, yeah.
Saying the same things, like, wait, free inspection?
Yep.
Free estimate?
Yep.
The estimate's accurate?
Yep.
They show up on time?
Don't leave a mess.
Wow, yeah, because, with construction or
Oh.
contractors sometimes. But not with River Region Contracting.
Right.
And they can work on metal roofs, right? Or asphalt
Or
roofs.
asphalt roofs, yep.
And what if you're like, oh, my roof's fine? No. Do some basic preventative maintenance.
Right.
And because their inspections are free, give yourself peace of mind. Have these great professionals come out and check out your roof for you. And hey, if they do find a problem, they can actually walk you through the claims process because they're a team of insurance specialists.
That's right.
Make it an easy and even pleasurable experience. That's something you usually expect out of an insurance claim. So check out River Region Contracting today, the premier roofing contractor here in the area. 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Get Memorial Day savings all month at Lexus of Montgomery. New Lexus IS 300, only $463 a month. Like the new ES 350, now just $535 a month. Luxury doesn't have to be out of your budget. With Memorial Day savings all month, there's never been a better time to drive a new Lexus. Memorial Day savings ends soon, so rush to Lexus of Montgomery, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group. VIN number RU 2410573999 due its 95,000 mile lease. VIN number R5130706 4527 due its 10,000 mile lease. Both 36 months with approved credit plus tax, tag, title, doc fee. Expires 6/4/24.
Bates House of Turkey is celebrating their first anniversary in Montgomery and 100 years in business with a renovated Montgomery location. Come enjoy the famous hickory smoked turkey sandwiches, the old-fashioned roast turkey dinners, and their expanded grab-and-go frozen casseroles and soups. There's plenty of room for small groups in the expanded dining room. Order online at BatesHouseOfTurkey.com. Dine in, carry out, and delivery services available. Bates House of Turkey in Montgomery is open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eat turkey, feel turkey.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or if you're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 272-9228. Now, as we look at this presidential race, interesting breakdown of Roanoke College poll. Biden and Trump are tied in Virginia, which is...
that doesn't surprise me. Honestly, because I went up there. I've been up there a couple times in the last year or so to see my sister. They are different kind of folks up there. There's some conservatives.
Oh, sure.
But
and then there's your DC elite.
Yeah, they're not Trump folks by no means. And I don't mean some country redneck thing, but they think Trump is a bully. That's their true belief.
Mm-hmm.
And so to them, Biden's the gentle grandpa. Even though
Well, and actually, Biden's leading in Virginia when you include like RFK.
I can see that, man.
Yeah, 40-38.
I can see that.
And yet, it does seem like the Democrats are continuing to worry, be little
They
worry
should.
wards over Joe Biden being the guy.
Dude, they should.
Because things really aren't going in the right direction. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Red Top.
Hey, Red
here.
Top.
Hi.
It looks like we're going to have a 51st state here very soon. I was shocked to hear this. Have you heard about this?
No.
Eastern Oregon is tired of the Portland BS.
No, but it won't be a 51st state.
Yes, it will. Eastern Oregon is going to split from Western Oregon.
Yeah, and join Idaho.
Yeah, they're doing the Idaho.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is still crazy.
I think it's
I mean,
great.
nonetheless
It's still
crazy,
crazy.
but yeah.
Man. Well, I don't blame them. I would imagine a lot of California could wish to join Arizona, to tell you the truth.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
But it's called the Greater Idaho Project. So,
They're going on a couple years now, right?
And they continue to succeed at the county level with votes, people saying, and so now you're at the point where, like, Oregon would have to agree, Idaho have to agree, the feds might get involved with this, but...
How are the feds not getting
I just love how it's like, well, democracy, no, but not that way. You're not allowed to, like, actually be free to, join.
Well-
You're under our thumb.
They said by 2025.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that does show democracy in action, and that is
I agree.
damn good.
Yeah.
And this is not the only place that's occurring. I wouldn't be surprised if the west most of Georgia would want to join Alabama because Atlanta has ruined Georgia. And so what's happening with Bonnie Willis in the case in Georgia? Has it been postponed indefinitely until they straighten Bonnie Willis out?
I have no clue, honestly, about the details. But
last I heard, I think she was kind of more or less trying to stay on the case, but everything's gone quiet.
Yeah, and Robert De Niro just lost most of his movie fans.
Yes,
Good.
he did.
Roll Tide, go Trump. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Red Top. Yeah, De Niro yesterday was, it was so bad.
I'm telling you, I was waiting for him to fight a guy in the crowd.
It was
and then
so bad.
These guys behind me are patriots. You know, the two guys behind him are not patriots, by the way.
They weren't?
No, they were actually pieces of scum.
Oh, really?
Traitors, 100%. And then one of them got called out. It was, as he walked through the crowd, he had people calling him out for what he was.
A washed-up actor with lots of skeletons in their closet. People like me need Joe Biden and...
You gotta love the internet, man. It always wins.
Oh,
Somebody
no doubt.
dubbed that over.
Except for the horn. That was actual.
Yeah, the horn was a real thing? Wow. Let's see if this one's a little more...
Trump ran in 2016, it was like a joke. This buffoon running for president.
This buffoon.
No, never could happen. We'd forgotten the lessons of history that showed us other clowns who weren't taken seriously until they became vicious dictators.
Yeah.
And now he's promising to use our own military to attack U.S. citizens.
What?
That's the tyrant
Right.
he's telling us he'll be. This is the time to stop him by voting him out once and for all.
Wow.
Again, Joey, if I would get too old and a little on the crazy side, pull me to the side. It's time to go sit down.
It's just...
Don't let me be like that.
Like, who's he speaking to? Again, it's sort of the twilight of the boomers.
What, do you think, though, that he believes what he just said?
Yeah.
Someone
Oh,
told
yeah.
him. Yeah, someone told him that. And
Oh, no, De Niro,
Hook, line, and
I think
sinker.
he's a true believer. But here, second hour of the program coming up. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. In New York, the jury in Donald Trump's criminal case have begun deliberations. That's after hearing instructions from the judge today. In consumer news, Nissan urging owners of about 84,000 older vehicles to stop driving them because their Takata airbag inflators are at high risk of exploding in a crash and hurling metal fragments. The urgent request comes after one person in a Nissan was killed by an exploding inflator and 58 others have claimed they were hurt. The warning covers certain 2002 through 2006 Sentra small cars, as well as some 2002 through 2004 Pathfinder SUVs, and 2002 and 2003 Infiniti QX4 SUVs. The Dow is down 346 points, the Nasdaq looting 56. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Well, hi, everybody. As the month of May comes to a close, we've got some more nice days ahead. Should be dry today, mostly sunny, not too humid, high temperature in the upper 80s. It will be cloudy at times tonight, overnight low 67, and then a sun and cloud mix tomorrow with a high in the mid 80s. We'll be in the upper 80s Friday, still dry, lots of sun, and over the weekend, first weekend of June, on Saturday and Sunday, expect some scattered random storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Make this spring your most productive yet with our package deal on Kubota's L2501 DT tractor with front loader, 5-foot cutter, and box blade, and 20-foot trailer at special spring savings. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A man was shot near Air Base Boulevard in Montgomery Tuesday morning. The shooting occurred in the 800 block of Westview Drive just before 10 a.m. That location is near the Gibbs Village public housing community. The unidentified victim's condition was not released. Suspect and motive remain unknown. A Millbrook man has been charged with robbery as police seek cooperation from possible victims. 30-year-old Cedric Long was arrested Tuesday and is being held in the Elmore County Jail under no bond. Police say the robbery warrant possibly involves multiple victims who have yet to come forward. The college baseball team, soon to be without a school-inspiring season, will continue. Birmingham Southern advanced to the Division III College Baseball World Series despite half the team being stricken with food poisoning. Supporters have now raised over $100,000 to help pay for their trip to Eastlake, Ohio, where the double elimination tournament begins on Friday. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Honey, did you call an electrician to put in that new bathroom outlet?
No, I thought I'd just get Cousin Ray.
He's not a real electrician.
Oh, Ray's handy. He can do anything.
Being handy and being an electrician are two different things. Electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. Each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. You need an expert. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, drug testing, continuing education, and rigorous safety training. When you need electrical work, or if you'd just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric.
So, how about that nice outlet Ray installed in the bathroom?
Do you think it's safe?
It's fine. See, when I plug in my electric razor, it...
Now the lights are out. I am not sleeping a wink until you get Crosby Electric out here.
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. This guy over here is Eddie Bader.
What's up, Joey?
And a lot going on today.
We best friends?
Are you and I best friends?
Best friends?
Yeah, but not in that way.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Not in the way you're trying to get at.
No, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, I'm glad we did too. Hey, you want to watch a stupid meme video?
You know it, baby.
Because 'tis the season to be silly. Randy will come to you in just a moment. I think you're going to like listening to this on hold, sir. This is from the Dilly meme team for Trump. And yeah, you can see it's like one of those old-timey videos.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and I'm just quoting this here. It says, introducing the mentally retarded.
I see.
Prepared for the Democrats of America by the Daily News Feed.
Usually, the mentally retarded are divided into classifications: the educable, the trainable, and the custodial. Obviously, we can only assess the abilities or potential of the mentally retarded on an individual basis.
And what you're seeing here, folks, are clips of De Niro, of Biden. The custodial was Biden.
Yeah. You remember when he fell up the stairs and we thought that was the big deal?
Oh, yeah. Remember when he pooped his pants at the Vatican?
Now it's just normal.
Y'all made that up.
To the point of his wife stands to the side and goes, go ahead.
Like, if you're a grown man and you haven't crapped your pants, you're not a man.
No, it happens.
Right.
But I generally don't do it in public.
You're trying to
Suit
hide.
on, anyway.
You're trying. Well, honestly, when that happens, it's not like you're trying to do anything.
That's true. Actually, you're usually trying not to.
Like, if you're trying to crap your pants, that's a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta have a.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to institutionalize you like that old timey video. Goodness gracious.
No thanks, man.
But the internet always wins.
Always will.
Let's go to Randy. Hey, Randy, how you doing?
What's up there, gentleman?
How you doing, Randy?
Everything I wanted to do, to be honest with you. How about y'all?
Hanging in here like a hair in a biscuit.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that y'all hear about that on the news? I think it was yesterday. You know, where some reporter asked Brandon, "Do he think that all Democrats wanted him to be president again?" He said, "Yeah, all about 92% of them, Jack." And did y'all hear when he said that? Or you didn't pay attention?
No, I didn't, but that's pretty good. 92%.
Yeah, it doubled me over. I said, that's so funny. It'd make a tear come out of a man's glass eye.
You want to hear Trump outside the courtroom here, Randy? Have you heard this from today?
I want to hear it.
All right,
Go
this
for it.
is Trump.
Here you go.
Thank you very much. I would say, in listening to the charges from the judge, who's, as you know, very conflicted and corrupt, because of the confliction, very, very corrupt. Mother Teresa could not beat these charges. These charges are rigged. The whole thing is rigged. The whole country's a mess between the borders and fake elections, and you have a trial like this where the judge is so conflicted he can't breathe.
Holy crap.
Man. Mother Teresa couldn't beat these charges.
Yep.
So, but let me ask you on a serious note, do you think, what is your percentage of, you think that they're going to get him on a charge?
I think from these instructions, they're going to try to go for it.
I don't see how, but yeah. Yeah.
Y'all, ain't a bunch of Democrats on that jury?
Probably, given that it's New York City.
Yeah, New York.
I heard there was a lot of Democrats on that jury. I think it was Hannity or one of them was talking about that it's going to have a hard road to toe because of so many Democrats on there. So let me ask you, if he does get convicted of any of that BS and you know what, can he still run for president?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that ain't going to stop.
Right. No, I think it's just going to make
label him out.
Trump mad.
Right. And make more people vote for him.
Then who cares? Who gives a flying booty call?
Right. Right.
Well, there you go, Randy.
Well, all right, gentlemen. I hadn't talked to y'all in a while. I just been sitting back listening. You know, Eddie, I'm up here and like you up here. How's the Airbnb going real quick?
Pretty good, man. Last 3 weekends we've been booked. I was up there today. You know, we had a little bit of storm damage from that storm come in, so I got to get deck replaced and some gutter replaced. But it's going well. People are loving Lake Jordan, man.
And I love it. I sold all that land, snow. You know, I moved up here to the lake. I wouldn't trade it for an angry chicken.
I know it. I know what you're saying, brother.
All right, well, listen, I'll be talking to y'all again. If I don't talk to you before Easter, y'all hide the eggs from me.
All right.
All right, Randy. We'll see you, brother.
So here I'm going to turn to Jonathan Turley. This is what he tweeted out. It's all written up. And here's Turley's take on the Judge Merchan.
Oh, okay.
This judge is conflicted and corrupt because of the conflict. Trump seemed like he was relishing that moment. He was enjoying himself.
Been waiting for that one.
Actually, I want to keep going with it a little bit.
Come on.
Hold on.
He's got to do his job. And it's not for me, that I can tell you. It's a disgrace. And I mean that. Mother Teresa could not beat those judges. But we'll see. We'll see how we do. It's a very disgraceful situation. Every single legal scholar and expert said this is no case. It shouldn't be brought. And it certainly could have been brought 7 years ago, not in the middle of a presidential election. It was all done by Joe Biden. This judge contributed to Joe Biden, and far worse than that, but I'm not allowed to talk about it because I have a gag order.
Got that old gag order thing.
Yeah, the thing I just said I can't talk about. Right. He's just daring them. But here's Jonathan Turley's take on this. He says, quote, "I'm back in the courtroom for the instructions from the judge.
Okay.
This judge has stated that he wants to stay close to the standard instructions. The problem is that this case is anything but standard. We will be looking for some of the outstanding issues, particularly on the standard of proof for key elements like unlawful means. Yesterday was chilling as the judge allowed the prosecutors to engage in what some of us view as highly improper arguments that include effectively testifying on facts not in the record."
Right. So not real facts?
Merchan's view of the quote-unquote argument was considerably broader for the prosecution than the defense. For the prosecutors making objections, the strike zone seemed like it stretched from dugout to dugout. For the defense, it seemed the size of a postage stamp. Judge Merchan is now instructing the jury. He has ruled that the jury will not be given copies of the instructions, but can ask for them to be read to them again. Judge Merchan is giving the standard instruction that they can reach inferences based on facts, such as inferring that it rained from seeing people in raincoats. It is a rather quaint instruction after Merchan allowed the prosecutors to state as a quote-unquote fact that federal election violations occurred in this case. There's no such violation in this case, but Merchan did nothing to correct the erroneous impression. To carry forward the analogy, Steinglass was just yelling at the jury that there was a virtual hurricane on a perfectly sunny day, but the judge remained entirely silent. Merchan is telling them that they can only consider Cohen's plea to a federal election violation was only allowed to judge his credibility and offer context. That is mere meek after the prosecutor said repeatedly that such violations were committed as an indisputable fact and that Trump ordered them to be committed. Judge Merchan just said that if they find any witness has testified with regard to any material fact, they can disregard the entirety of his or her testimony. It could be called the Michael Cohen charge. It seems clear to some of us that Cohen clearly lied about the key call that he cited for telling Trump about the completion of the Daniels deal and his ridiculous claim that he secretly taped Trump for his own benefit. But I'm going to skip ahead here. Merchan just delivered the coup de grace instruction, says Jonathan Turley. He said that there is no need to agree on what occurred. They can disagree on what the crime was among the three choices. This means, thus, that they could split 4-4-4, and he will still treat them as unanimous. Well, us four think he was guilty for this reason, us four think it's for this reason, us four think, and that's treated as like a unanimous jury.
Sounds like a little crap.
Wow. Absolutely wow. We'll see what comes. But, bring it on. Find him guilty. Sure. Go for it.
But here's another question. Why hasn't Cohen been charged with stealing that $60,000 that he admitted to stealing in court in front of a judge, in front of everybody and their brother? I mean, if I do that, it's okay. I told everybody. I confessed.
What an absolute charade and circus. But that's the nature of American politics these days, right? And that is the thing I'm noticing, how dumb it's become. Just how dumb it all is.
Yeah. Why do you think our allies are running?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You want to deal with these morons?
Well, and as the discourse, as the conversation becomes dumber and dumber, you have more heinous and heinous corrupt things being done by the United States government. For instance, here is Peter St. Onge.
Okay.
Talking about how is Congress about to give Ukraine another $300 billion without even voting on it? Let's listen in to Peter St. Onge.
$300 billion from the American taxpayer and handed to Ukraine without ever even voting on it. A few days ago, Vladimir Putin signed a decree announcing that if America seizes the dollars owned by Russia's central bank, which Washington is in the process of doing for the first time in history, well then, Putin will immediately begin seizing American assets in Russia, from property and real estate to corporate and banking assets. Now, given past form, we know what happens next. The U.S. government will compensate those bankers and corporations for their lost assets, meaning the seizure, the $300 billion, will be passed along to American taxpayers, Slava Ukraine. The background here is that as part of war sanctions in 2022, the U.S. and its European minions seized $300 billion in U.S. dollars owned by Russia's central bank. Like all central banks, Russia was using those dollars as the main financial asset backing the ruble. It was essentially a buffer against banking crisis, which is precisely why the U.S. seized them in hopes of setting off a bank panic in Russia that presumably ends with Putin hanging upside down from a lamppost. Ironically enough, Russia's banks did not fail, but ours did, starting with Silicon Valley Bank, then Signature, First Republic, and Citizens, before Jerome Powell stepped in with $100 billion in sweetheart loans on fictitious bank assets, and then Janet Yellen chipped in with up to $20 trillion the FDIC does not have. While Washington was bailing out gamblers, Russia's $300 billion was sitting frozen, waiting for the war to end. That all changed last year when both the U.S. and EU ran into political opposition to giving more money to Ukraine. So they got creative, hatching a plan to not just freeze the $300 billion, but to actually give it to Ukraine. Of course, this put every country in the world on notice that U.S. dollars are a risky thing to own, that the dollars they had been regarding as good as gold, well, inflating gold, are actually a risk asset that could vanish anytime you offend the Americans. Now, most countries don't invade their neighbors, of course, but these days the West is sanctioning everything from greenhouse gases to migration to LGBT policy. So if you're a conservative poor country like, say, Uganda, which was sanctioned, you don't want your entire economy held hostage unless you replace your grid with solar and put trans women in kindergartens. In fact, at an ASEAN conference last year, Indonesia's president actually spelled it out, urging his fellow leaders, none of whom have a beef with America, to get out of the dollar because, quote, look what happened to Russia. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. So far, they are planning a first installment of $50 billion that would be on top of the $60 billion, one-third of Ukraine's GDP, that we just gave Kiev not 5 weeks ago. That would bring U.S. aid to Ukraine to roughly $225 billion, on its way, apparently, to $500 billion. That would be close to $5,000 per family in America, and keep in mind the average American cannot afford a $500 emergency, while our government cannot afford to maintain bridges or, say, build a border wall. The Ukraine war will eventually end, like the Afghan war, with a drained treasury and hundreds of thousands dead. And the uniparty warmongers will simply move on to the next one. They're already probing a wider Middle East war, a Taiwan confrontation, and seeding wars from Latin America to Africa. Until we get a change of management in the White House, there will be many more. Okay, we'll be watching.
Again, Peter St. Onge, folks, go give him a follow. And if you want to do deep dives, he's got all that stuff. But I love these quick 3-minute videos he does. A lot of information packed in there, and it's not part of that dumbing down of the discourse we've gotten so used to.
It's the opposite.
Now, sticking on foreign policy, this was labeled, how was the headline? Axios is praying for a war miracle to help Democrats.
Oh.
But here's the actual headline from Axios. Our tinderbox moment, 4 flashpoints. So let's go through these. This election year could be turned on its head by an international crisis, and it won't necessarily come in the Middle East. Why it matters? Well, the war in Gaza continues to attract the attention of the world and President Biden's foreign policy team. But the past few days have also been peppered with worrying headlines from other global hotspots like Taiwan, North Korea, Ukraine, and Iran. The big picture here is that global alliances have shifted over the past few years. China and Russia, joined by other autocracies, have deepened a partnership that's heavily focused on challenging America and the West. Stopping for a moment. Weren't you and I talking about this as soon as the war broke out with Ukraine?
Yeah.
I believe I asked Senator Britt about the SWIFT sanctions. Just days when she was just a candidate. Like, if me, a jackass on the radio, can see this coming, why is it now being presented as news today? Years later.
Idiots, Joey. Idiots.
But there are snapshots of that competition all over the world. Pacific Island countries being aggressively courted by both Beijing and Washington, West African nations booting out the U.S. and France, and welcoming in Russia, China, President Xi Jinping's recent visit to Europe this month for the first time in 5 years. Then there are the much-feared scenarios that could see the new Cold War, with autocratic powers turn hot, a Chinese move on Taiwan, escalation by Russia beyond Ukraine, North Korean brinksmanship, and a nuclear crisis with Iran. None of those appear imminent, but the past week have offered reminders that all remain plausible. China has conducted large-scale military exercises around Taiwan in the week since President Lai Ching-te, a proponent of close ties with Washington, whom Beijing condemns as a quote-unquote separatist, took office, part of a pattern of intimidation that some experts and officials see as a prelude to eventual invasion. This new president of Taiwan also faces divisions at home. Parliament, controlled by the more Beijing-friendly opposition, voted Tuesday to strengthen its powers at the expense of the Taiwanese presidency, defying mass protests. And Russian troops are now clawing back territory in eastern Ukraine, menacing the country's second-largest city, Kharkiv, in Moscow's most significant battlefield successes in more than a year. And by the way, even more to the north, there's now claims of a 300,000-man contingent.
Ooh, wow.
Already 8, there's a lot. We'll just put it that way. I think there are already some like 500,000 Russians engaged all along the front. Add another 300,000.
Yeah.
But Kyiv hopes long-delayed shipments of U.S. weapons will help stem the losses. But President Biden is facing growing pressure from NATO allies to allow Ukraine to use U.S.-provided weapons to strike inside Russia. Biden's refused up to now, fearing escalation. So we need to escalate, but not too much.
See, that's what I worry about when things don't go Biden's way or the Democrats' way come November. That's what I worry about.
Now, apparently a North Korean spy satellite exploded in a failed rocket launch on Monday, but U.S. officials are expecting more and potentially more serious provocations this year from Kim Jong-un. They're also monitoring Kim's burgeoning partnership with Russia's Vladimir Putin, with the two U.S. adversaries allegedly exchanging military hardware and technology. Again, why is this being presented like it's a new thing? This has long been
not only that
common knowledge about that part of the world, that the Russians and the North Koreans share.
Right.
They probably have a better relationship than China.
They share
and
an
North
enemy,
Korea.
us. But can you imagine what Putin does with the crap that he gets from North Korea?
Well, he just needs munitions. They're sitting on stockpiles of just basic artillery.
Yeah, a lot of it. A lot of that stuff is aged.
And then Iran's sending them a lot of those drones, which are changing the battlefield.
Yep.
Folks, there are a lot of open source maps, some with even more Eastern European, even Russian accents guiding you. But you can also look at the Institute for the Study of War here in the West and just look at, if you're that interested, you can get pretty granular down to detail. And not everything is going to be perfectly accurate because, of course, the militaries are going to show everything they're doing.
Fog of war as well.
But there's a lot of these geocache or geotagged videos of this missile strike, this drone strike, the Ukrainians throwing up, the Russians throwing up. So people draw up these maps and then start making pretty worthwhile assumptions. And at this point, you can kind of see who's been right in the past.
See which way it's going.
So that's wonderful. And Iran has increased its stockpiles of near weapons-grade uranium. The UN nuclear watchdog warned Monday. The country's June 28th presidential election to replace the guy who died in the helicopter crash comes amid fears of a clash with Israel and with Tehran's proxies active all throughout the region. A missile strike on a ship in the Red Sea on Tuesday underscored the Iran-backed Houthi rebels' ability to throttle international shipping. Then there are the global crises that have largely fallen off the international radar. The civil wars in Sudan and Myanmar have taken particularly brutal turns in recent weeks, with the UN warning of potential genocide in Sudan, and members of Myanmar's long-suffering Rohingya minority also once again forced to flee. A Kenyan-led international security force is preparing to deploy to Haiti in response to gang warfare that has devastated the country. 2 young American missionaries were among those killed in a gang attack last week. And Israel's escalation in Rafah poses a major test for Biden and his foreign policy team, with fellow Democrats urging him to enforce his threat to withdraw military support over the operation after an Israeli strike killed 45 displaced Palestinians on Sunday, which even Netanyahu himself called a tragic mistake. What a mess. But these are the adults back in charge, right? We can't let the crazy man Trump get back in there.
He might settle some things.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And I have my old friend, friend in high school, college roommate, he used to have this saying all the time of a kid with a magnifying glass, that these folks in power aren't being considerate of other human beings. They're like a kid with a magnifying glass, seeing how many ants they can burn up.
Yep.
Why? Because they can.
Because they can do it.
272-9228. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Stuart Tankersley.
Hey, Doc. How are you, Doc? How you
Hey,
doing?
guys. I'm doing great, thank you. I thought I would lighten up the day just a bit and
Please.
let everybody know about tonight's NCAA championship golf match between Auburn and FSU. It's both of their first times in the in the Natty. So it's going to be at 5 o'clock from California, and Montgomery has a good storyline with it because Josiah Gilbert is from Millbrook.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yep. Great kid. His mom and dad, with their 5 kids, moved to Millbrook from, I think, Australia 2 years ago to escape the insanity of COVID draconian measures. And he is a great addition. And he won last night. It went into sudden death playoff, and so tonight, rooting for the boys to bring it home.
Excellent.
Well, so 5 o'clock tonight. Do you know where people could watch?
I think it's on the Golf Channel.
Okay, cool. Well, I didn't know that was even going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight for the first time. I'm excited.
Well, very cool. Well, I appreciate you giving us that a bit of levity and something to enjoy tonight.
Yeah, man. Y'all have a great one. Thanks for doing a good job.
Hey, thank you, Tankersley.
Yeah, Dr. Tankersley
Good guy.
calling in.
Solid dude.
Really is. You know, Red Lobster's still having, on another light note, a real big problem. Like,
Dude.
they're now closing. They're talking about it on Fox Business right
They
now.
got scammed.
They got scammed?
They got scammed. So they let I don't know if I can Fisher price this down. Basically, let some investors come in when they were hurting.
Oh.
And the investor said, hey, let's see if I can explain this right. Hey, we'll give you this X amount of money. We'll keep you guys afloat. But it comes with a cost. And of course, they're like, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah, we can be partners. Da, 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 da.
Right. Of course,
Okay,
there's
cool.
a penalty to help us in bankruptcy.
Well, they give them a little bit of money, and they said, hey, we need you guys to separate your property kind of from the business. Kind of to be separate. That way we can do a tax thing. They're like, oh, yeah, okay, great. And they're like, hey, you guys just missed a payment. You're like, but we're partners, right? I said, we're fixing to start selling that property because those properties are worth millions.
They're essentially...
Look where you've seen a Red Lobster in every city. Look at the location.
Well, the one in Montgomery here, look at that building.
Yeah, and look at it's that piece of property.
Well, number one, it looks like they haven't reinvested in that building in
It's
years.
84 on a good day, yeah.
Right.
But the location.
Right. So, wait, the people that were going to save them are essentially liquidating them?
Yeah. That happens all the time.
Sure.
By the way, I mean, it happens.
No, it's what Mitt Romney did when I was munching down on hot dogs, the best meat there is. Bain Capital. Some call it vulture capitalism. I thought I was more like a tiger. Traying.
Hey, literally, I mean, it's there's more and more information coming about it. But if you go down just the least bit of a rabbit hole, you're like, how did they fall for that?
And it's a shame. Like, there's so much that, like, for instance, remember when Pizza Hut used to be a spot to go to?
Dude, yeah. Remember sitting in there at the buffet and while your dad was smoking a cigarette?
Yeah. Oh, and people put up the videos like where it was just a random Friday night at Pizza Hut.
It was
and
jamming, baby.
It's alive.
It's a jamming.
And even these days, you go to popular spots, it's so. What did COVID do to it? What is the internet doing to us?
This is true, Joey.
But you can watch the Golf National Championship tonight. That's cool that Auburn's in it. I did not know
Heck
that.
yeah, man. And we got a local guy. Love that.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Angie. This is off topic. It has to do with traffic alert.
Okay.
All right, what you got, Angie?
85 North is a parking lot, basically from Ann Street to almost to the interchange with 65. Now, you may have been reporting it all morning or all afternoon, but it don't get on 85 North.
Yeah, we don't usually do traffic reports at this time, so I appreciate you calling that in
certainly.
because people need to avoid that again. The 85 northbound, backing up all the way to the interchange with 65. Find a different route, folks.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie.
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 Good name.
Yeah.
It's a good Southern name, too.
Yeah. I think I fell in love with a girl named Angie in like 7th grade.
It's easy to do, man.
She had long red hair.
No, if she had kept talking on the phone here, who knows what would have happened. Just you fall in love. Maybe that's how I'm going to find somebody. We'll just fall in love with each other's voices. It'll start with a phone call to the show.
You Got Mail. Remember that movie, Joey?
I do remember that movie.
Don't fall for that scam, Joey.
What do you mean scam? Well, plus I don't own like a huge bookstore conglomerate, so I don't think that's how it's going to work out.
You never know, Joey. Telling you, there's several of us worried about you falling with a very domineering woman.
A domineering woman?
One that, hey, can Joey come outside and play today? No. Hey, Joey, we're all going. No. That's what we're worried about. I mean, you do that enough already without a woman, but God forbid you put one in there telling you no.
No, what I worry is I'm going to find somebody who's like, we have to go to this thing. And I'm like, I don't want to go to
Joey,
the thing.
no, Lord.
Stupid, like, picnic.
Yeah. Showers.
Oh, bridal showers. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Though I had to go to my my cousin Annie, who is beautiful, and she's a nurse now in Birmingham, and her husband Lance is great. But me being me, when I had to go to their bridal shower here, they had 3.
Yeah.
They had 3 bridal showers.
A little bit over the top.
I went to the one in Montgomery. It's in Wind Lakes. It's some palatial estate.
Yeah, probably
and
myself.
I don't know all these young people. If there's like a freaking uniform.
Young people?
Yeah,
you
no.
were not the young people?
No. My Annie's only like 22, 23.
Oh, okay.
So it's all like, and her and her friends all got married out of college.
You sound like they had a plan.
Right. No, and her wedding was beautiful.
Oh, sure.
But part of me is like, I felt like the weirdo, the outsider. You know, the meme, like they don't know, like standing in the corner there.
Yeah.
And I really did, looking at the guys and the gals, think like Greek life on college camp. I'm like, there is a freaking uniform to this. And then I look at all the husbands and wives there who are in their 50s and 60s, or at least pushing 60. And it's like, oh, they're still in the same uniforms.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not wearing boat shoes.
What's wrong?
I'm not wearing boat
I
shoes.
used to love topsiders. I wore them, I think, throughout high school exclusively.
Yeah.
And they made my feet stink. So
Oh,
no socks.
yeah.
No
No
socks.
socks.
And lots of snow, because we were cool like that.
I'm not wearing boat shoes.
I don't blame you. I've kind of looked at them too. What about Crocs?
I'm wearing Croc flip-flops right now.
Okay. You
They're
good
not
with that?
Crocs Popper, but they're the same brand and very comfortable.
Very comfortable.
They
right?
squeak a lot.
So you're smart enough to wear sensible shoes.
Yeah, you
Or
can hear me
comfortable.
coming from like 100 yards away, though, especially if it's on like I was walking around Target and I'm like, this is stupid. So I was like,
You're a grown man flip-flopping through the Target.
you know, I felt like SpongeBob SquarePants. Like,
I know the feeling. I shoot these videos and I have my Crocs on and I go back and listen. All I can hear is my Crocs going flop, 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 flop.
while you're doing the real
Yeah,
estate
while I'm
voice.
trying to sell a house. Flop, flop, flop.
Isn't this, look at this beautiful countertop work they did in the kitchen. This was just updated like 3 years ago. And look at the grommet.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. It's like you trying to sleep with me or sell me a house.
Either, whatever.
Let's go to line one. You're on the air. Who's this?
It's Martha, and y'all are cracking me up today.
Hey, Martha.
Hey, Martha.
Y'all are having too much fun. And y'all are cracking me up today. Y'all are having
Turn down your radio, Martha.
Tell Angie thank you so much for the update, because I'm in Montgomery and I want to get back to Millbrook. I know, yeah. Let me do that. I want to get back to Millbrook, and now I know how to go home, because otherwise I'd be stuck out there on that interstate for 2 hours.
You don't want to be out there.
No, I don't. And Joey, don't you dare worry about a woman gonna fall in your lap one day, okay?
Okay.
Just ask God to throw her in the yard, and when she comes, she'll be the right one. You ain't got to worry, you know. And all these people that keep asking you when you're going to get married. This is what I told them one time. I looked at my uncle and I said, "Well, do you want me to be so happy as you are, or do you want me to come into the dead zone? What is it? Why y'all want me to get married so bad? Okay, so." Just ask them that question. They won't ask you anymore, okay?
Okay. I love you, Martha.
I see. Well, you guys, keep it up. You made me smile today. I needed it after all that other stuff before then, you know?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Martha.
Tell Eddie to get me a house to sell, too, okay?
We'll do it.
All right.
Thank you, Martha.
All right.
See you, honey.
See y'all.
You know her?
Yeah. Another great realtor. But here's the problem, Joey. If God did drop a woman in your yard, you would look out and go, and turn around, walk away, and go the other way.
Like
You wouldn't open the door. You wouldn't even see if she's okay. You'd be like,
Well, I mean, you think so lowly of me.
no, I know Joey Clark. First off, you'd say, what kind of woman is just going to show up in my yard? Obviously, someone that I'm not going to be interested in, because the kind of woman I'm interested in would not just show up in my yard. And you would turn and walk away.
No, but if it was so odd, and be like, maybe it's a sign.
Okay. The odder it is, the more you have a tendency to go, no. No.
I just want somebody in my life to do that whole Lady and the Tramp thing with. Once, because I have a feeling it's going to be like, this is no way to eat spaghetti. Like, who's sharing a... We're not dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, we can be, but...
You don't really want to do that. Kind of gross.
You like... I shouldn't go there. I'll put it this way. I don't like food in the bedroom.
But
Not
you're
a fan
young,
of that.
Joe. You got to try everything one time.
I've tried many things, but no, there's something about food. I'm weird about food.
You are weird about food. I get that.
Like, I like getting my own food.
Yep.
Like, very rarely will I eat with somebody, like share a thing with somebody else. I will do that, but rarely. It literally has to be a family member.
Yes. No, there's a lot of people like that. I know a lot of people.
But like, why are we wasting the whipped cream? Is what I'm wondering. And like, and this is just gross, and you got to clean it up, and like, I don't want to have to work with tools. I want to relax.
Kind of creating a moment. Like I said, you got to try everything. Not everything, but
what, like chocolate strawberries or something?
Those are good, but don't get the dark chocolate.
You don't like dark chocolate?
I'm a milk chocolate guy.
Wait, did you bring in a chocolate fondue waterfall into your?
No, but I did.
Boudoir?
No, that's a good idea. Let me write that down.
Yeah.
Waterfall. That's a great idea. I used to have a refrigerator / freezer and microwave next to the bed for the longest time. And I used
Next to the bed.
Yeah, I thought I was cool like that till my wife told me one day, "You look like such a R word with that. Can we get rid of that, please?"
I'm trying to imagine this. Wait, so you had like a whole counter set up?
It's something I got from a military surplus sale, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's a little refrigerator, and there's a little freezer on top of that.
Where you also got those boots too?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And there's a little microwave on top of that. And I thought, as a young man, every real man has that next to his bed.
And it wasn't true?
Nah, not really. I watched too many movies.
I have a mini fridge within like
you should have
3 steps of my
but
bed.
not next to the bed. That's just
that's a little much.
Yeah.
A little much.
Lessons learned. Learned.
Right. I got a fancy glass one that you can turn the light on and see what's in your fridge without opening it. I don't use that function though. It's like I know what's in my fridge.
Like I said, I got mine at a military surplus.
No, it would be nice, by the way, with the guests we have. Can't we get a mini fridge?
Don't even get me started, Joey.
Oh, it would. You're
Don't
right.
even get
It
me
would end up
started.
being disgusting. It's like the mini fridge is only for water.
No.
And Diet Coke.
You would have to have a lock and a key on it. Only 1 or 2 people could have the
Yeah.
key.
Now I'm back at Fun Zone carrying around barrel keys
Right.
again.
Yeah, I don't think it'd work. I don't think it'd work like you wanted to.
Let's hit this break. 272-9228 if you want to hop in on whatever this is. The world is so miserable. The politics is so miserable. We're just having fun. Be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Prattville Carpet is a family-owned flooring store that prides itself on personal service, quality products, and guaranteed installation. From beautiful hardwood floors to luxurious smart strand carpet, Prattville Carpet has you covered. Call, come by, or online at prattvillecarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
I'm Johnny Adams with the Johnny Adams Law Firm, Alabama's personal injury law firm. Wishing you a fabulous day and a blessed evening. Stay weather alert.
Well, hi, everybody. As the month of May comes to a close, we've got some more nice days ahead. Should be dry today, mostly sunny, not too humid, high temperature in the upper 80s. It will be cloudy at times tonight, overnight low 67, and then a sun and cloud mix tomorrow with a high in the mid-80s. We'll be in the upper 80s Friday, still dry, lots of sun, and over the weekend, first weekend of June, on Saturday and Sunday, expect some scattered random storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. You know, somebody special messaged me off air saying, don't forget about the pull-apart eyeglasses.
Joey.
Oh, it's all the rage these days.
Joey.
Especially like these, who are men, like these 50, 60-something-year-old, very successful professionals. Yeah. They all have the same uniform.
Yep, and that's part of it, man.
And God love them. You want to live that way? Cool, man. But there's something about it that it's just not for me.
The funniest part is when you see it, you know, okay, just like your glasses there. Okay, I noticed it, no big deal. It's when the motion comes in, when they start doing
and how
it.
they click.
Yeah, and you're just like, wait a minute.
And hold the phone on.
And I get it because I probably should wear those.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm a vain person by no means, but I am too vain to.
You don't like being called Four Eyes?
No, it's not that. It's the whole. I don't know. It's uncomfortable, the nerd factor. Hold on, let me get my glasses. Click. I just... And incredibly efficient. Most mechanics I know, engineers I know, they all wear them because they are so superly efficient. They don't lose their glasses.
Right.
But they lose a little bit of something else.
No, like I just, you know me, I don't like to go with the crowd. Like sometimes it's inevitable. It's like, who's going to win the state of Alabama in the presidential election?
That would be Donald John Trump.
Right. At this point, yeah, what the hell? Let's throw him in there again. But in terms of my personal life, I like kind of doing my own, beating my own drum.
That's,
so to speak.
That's a good thing, Joey.
Could have come up with a better way to say that.
Well, as much as I give you a hard time about it, it's a good thing. You're a free thinker. You don't follow the crowd. So chances of you ever drinking the Kool-Aid is probably not going to happen.
Speaking of somebody who drank the Kool-Aid, Tim Pool.
Oh?
To quote the great Michael Malice, Tim Pool is a dim fool.
Well, all right.
Actually, no, it's just Tim. It's fun to give him a hard time how much he loves Trump now. Because he started as sort of the Occupy Wall Street guy, reporting from Ferguson, guerrilla. He can't do the guerrilla reporting either.
Why?
Because, but people know him now.
Know him too much, right?
Oh, yeah. Like some of these radical groups would kill him quickly or
Yeah.
beat him pretty severely. But, but he made his name doing that guerrilla-style reporting all around the world for Vice. And
I forgot he'd been swatted a couple times as well. I forgot all about that.
Right, but he explains here to Trump's face. This is the sit-down he got at that Libertarian National Convention. He explains, here's how I came to support you. And then Trump responds. So let's listen in together, shall we?
I'll be honest, I didn't vote for you in 2016. I was jaded. Obama let me down. I'm from Chicago. I thought 2016 was silly. And then in 2020, with the timeline for getting out of Afghanistan,
right?
When you tried to get our troops out of Syria, my question is, why are we in Syria? Who even knew?
Yeah.
And they lied to you, and they lied to us about the number of troops in there. And so maybe it's a bit blunt for me to say I want to see people prosecuted for the lies to the American people. But in terms of foreign policy, perhaps it's a little bit of a biased interview, but I think you're the greatest president of my lifetime.
I appreciate it.
And ending the wars that we should not have been involved in. Now the fear is World War III.
Yeah.
What are you looking at when you enter your next term to stopping the escalation?
Well, first of all, I'm the only one that is going to stop World War III because this man can't put two sentences together. He doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know where he is.
It's true.
And amazingly, it seems like he's going to be running. You know, it's a lot of people say, do you think he'll make it to the starting gate? Well, we'll see what happens. But if you look at Viktor Orban, because we don't want to see wars. I don't want to see wars. I was in no wars other than we finished a war with ISIS and we completed it, 100% complete. But I don't want to see wars. I think it's so horrible, so unnecessary, so costly in terms of lives and money in that order, and destroying these countries. You know, you're destroying culture. When you look at Ukraine, that would have never happened if I were president. You look at the October 7th attack on Israel, it would have never happened.
I look at your policies, I see secure the borders, bring jobs back. I look at the Democrats and many Republicans, and it's foreign war and foreign expansion.
Yep, exactly right.
Yep.
And, it's interesting to see. It is a different coalition than 2016, 2020 for certain at this point.
Well, with Biden last time, I still, don't understand how he won. You saw his campaign rallies with 3 people in there and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt now that he has no momentum whatsoever. I mean, when they're marching out the old farts like De Niro yesterday, which was a disaster.
It was.
More and more people, even if they say they're not going to necessarily vote for Trump, they're not voting for Biden. They're coming out openly saying they are not voting for Biden. So I don't see, as it stands right now, how Trump loses. Except for, we haven't changed a whole lot of policies on our voting, have we?
True, and that's a state thing.
And
me,
man, that is my number one concern.
We'll see. But, Tim Pool didn't completely suck up.
Oh, yeah?
He actually pushed him in particular on the whole Fauci question. Let's listen in.
The Libertarian Party National Convention, they had one of their, I believe one of their presidential nominees said he wants to see Fauci, the heads of Moderna, Pfizer, Biden, and you locked up for what happened during COVID. I don't agree with them, but there is a big sentiment. Elon Musk tweeted, prosecute Fauci. Fauci lied to Congress about the gain of function research that was going on, and now we have testimony.
Well,
that,
I'm the one that stopped the funding, and this was funding from before me. I'm the one that stopped the funding. Fauci wasn't a big player in my administration like he was after I left. I mean, Biden made him the king of everything. And if you take a look at that, Fauci was not the big player with me that he was. And in fact, I did things that he didn't want to do. He wanted to keep it open to China. I said, you got to close it to China because it was all coming out of China. It was coming out of Wuhan, which I said right at the beginning. But the other thing is, and what people don't realize, I believe in federalism. I gave the power to governors. Some governors did a great job. In all cases, they were Republicans. And some, like in South Carolina, Henry McMaster, kept everything open. Others didn't. The Democrats did a bad job, very bad job. But basically, I gave that power over the states. I gave it to the governor. I gave it back to the states. And I think it's something which, when people realize that, it's something that they respect.
Will there be accountability for the lying to Congress when you get to appoint your new AG, deputy AG?
Yeah, and we'll take a look at statute of limitations because, the statute of limitations are quite long. And we're going to be looking at that very seriously, yeah.
I got
Fascinating. The whole interview's fascinating, actually. I thought Tim
I'd go
Pool
back and
did
check
a
that out.
pretty good job there. We got to hit this quick break. First, this part of the program, this entire hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. God, I love some Kim and Madeline.
I love some Madeline. She was mocking me on my shirt a while ago.
What did she say? She texted you.
Yeah, she texted me. She said, Eddie, are you selling houses or are you selling boats with that shirt on there, buddy?
Yeah, you look like a boat salesman.
Well, with them, I absolutely love them to death. I can take clients that have no real knowledge of how the mortgage process works, get them to call Madeline up. 5, 10, 15 minutes later, I get a call back. These people are telling me the new rules that the mortgage process has since last time I heard, because Madeline and them keep them up to date. They just educate them, which is great. Because honestly, especially first-time home buyers, Joey, it can be very intimidating. I want to buy a house. I don't even know where to go.
Right. So if you need somebody to help you with that process from pre-approval all the way to closing day, or if you're looking to refinance, which is, especially if you're under mountains of credit card debt, but say you just want to restructure your financials.
Sure.
This is a great way to do it. Could be you're reinvesting in your property, or you've got a new idea for long-term investment. Savings could be you want to help out a family member or yourself. There's all sorts of great ways you can use a refinance deal through, well, the top dog when it comes to mortgage companies here in the area, Alabama Home Mortgage. So call them today, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. You can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
All of you need to bring your A game.
It's 2 helpings of Gordon.
This is like a food assault.
Fox tonight.
Let's see.
First, the premiere of MasterChef Generations.
Gen Z, Millennials, Generation X, Baby Boomers. Which generation is going to win it all?
Then, Lisa Vanderpump joins Gordon Ramsay in the search for the next great food star.
You ready?
Born ready.
In a head-to-head competition.
You're desperate to win, aren't you?
All new food stars. Tonight on Fox 20.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
The Harriet 2 Riverboat has the perfect way to start your weekend each Friday with the Spring Dinner Cruise. Enjoy live entertainment as you dine on a delicious family-friendly dinner. Add your favorite beverage from the cash bar and dance the night away cruising the Alabama River. Get your family together and make it a family tradition. Boarding starts at 6:30 and cruise starts at 7. Book your cruise on the Harriet 2 now at funinmontgomery.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Not a lot of time in this hour left, but before we hit the top of the hour break, we usually talk to Michael Cohen,
Right.
and couldn't connect with him on the phone line, but I'm happy to talk about Cohen's Electronics and Appliances, and they're at Cohen's. They're ready to help you across the board, and of course their products are fantastic, from TVs to audio equipment, maybe you need a new massage chair or a captain's chair. The appliance side, if you need to build out a kitchen, or maybe even when it comes to grilling, you want to look for new options. And in fact, we have the man himself
That's
on
right.
the line. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Hey, Michael.
I'm great. How are y'all?
Doing very well.
Doing all right. And we're just saying that y'all can really do it all. They're great products, but I think the difference is the service y'all provide.
Well, and that's the biggest thing that we strive for, because, you know, as I've said before, I wish I could say that Whirlpool or Speed Queen or Sony or Yamaha, whoever we're selling, whatever we're selling, builds better stuff for Cohen's, but it's, you know, it's the same stuff you can buy anywhere. And the difference is our people, whether it's our delivery people, whether it's Michael Jacks, whether it's my appliance technicians. You know, everybody tries to take everything to the next level and give you better service, and you know, that's the biggest thing, and that's the only way that we've been able to have all of the repeat business that we've been able to have since my dad started back in '57.
Yeah, it really is a great legacy. I have to admit, though, I was watching the TV with my grandfather, and I look up and I go, no, and it's me on the TV. The Cohen's commercial's running. Now, I love, and
oh, was it?
I stand by everything I said in the commercial, but I'm just looking at myself. I'm like, okay, I was 230 there. I was clearly over 230 there. Oh, my goodness.
Well, we could do it now after Memorial Day. I'm sure you've lost weight.
Actually, yeah, I'm down. Yeah. Well, Eddie and Greg are now skinnier than me, so I have to keep working at it. I'm at 220 now. Anyway.
Well, I mean, Eddie is just pimping himself out every which way.
You've noticed, huh?
You can't keep him still, so
Pretty much.
He's got an advantage over the rest of us.
It's true. Well, great having you back on the show. And if folks want to check out Cohen's, you can go to thinkcohens.com, but I really encourage you to stop by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael, one of the great team members there, and say, hey, we heard Michael on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Fantastic. Thank y'all. Have
See
a
you,
great
bud.
day.
You too, Michael. Got to hit our top of the hour break. Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. After nearly 24 witnesses, 16 days of testimony, and hours of lawyers' closing arguments, it's time for jurors to have their say in former President Donald Trump's criminal trial. Jury deliberations have begun in the first criminal trial of a former U.S. president. Another U.S. military MQ-9 Reaper drone has gone down in Yemen. The downing comes as Yemen's Houthi rebels continue their attacks on shipping around the Red Sea. A volcano in southwestern Iceland is erupting, spewing red streams of lava. A series of earthquakes before the eruption triggered the evacuation of a popular Blue Lagoon geothermal spa. Grindavik, a coastal town of 3,800 people, was also evacuated. The Dow is offset 378 points, the Nasdaq losing 61 now. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
Rich Thomas Weather, brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to get your cooling system ready for the long, hot summer. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Well, hi, everybody. As the month of May comes to a close, we've got some more nice days ahead. Should be dry today, mostly sunny, not too humid, high temperature in the upper 80s. It will be cloudy at times tonight, overnight low 67, and then a sun and cloud mix tomorrow with a high in the mid 80s. We'll be in the upper 80s Friday, still dry, lots of sun, and over the weekend, first weekend of June, on Saturday and Sunday, expect some scattered random storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. The Z700 series is the star of Kubota's line of zero-turn mowers, and our special spring pricing makes it easier than ever to take one home today. Powering Alabama, Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
1819 News.
A group that is opposed to the death penalty is making an effort to stop one that is planned here in Alabama. The advocacy group called Death Penalty Action has now sent a petition to Governor Ivey regarding the execution of Jamie Ray Mills. The lethal injection execution of Mills is scheduled for this Thursday. The group is citing a lawsuit filed by the Equal Justice Initiative that says that Mills was falsely convicted due to claims from police that DNA was found on the murder weapons. Mills was charged with capital murder for the brutal deaths of an elderly couple back in 2004. 87-year-old Floyd Hill and his 72-year-old wife were killed by the use of a machete, tire iron, and hammer. Mills has yet to appeal his case to the U.S. Supreme Court, although his appeals have been rejected by a district court as well as the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
An educator here in the state was recently extradited to the state of Georgia to face murder charges there. Keontae Harris has been serving as the assistant principal at McAdory's Middle School. The Jefferson County Superintendent confirms that Harris is now on paid administrative leave. Harris and two other men were charged by Clayton County authorities for the shooting deaths of 3 victims back in 2013. There is a law that goes into effect at the end of this week. The hands-free law requires Bluetooth technology to be used for making phone calls to prevent distracted driving. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group.
Selling a home in the river region in this market takes some planning and preparation to be successful. Here are some steps to take to get your home sold fast. Remember the 5 Ps. Prepare the home, fresh coat of paint inside and out, and complete any repairs needed. Professionally clean the home. A deep cleaning of floors, cabinets, windows, and blinds will leave a great impression for future buyers. Provide a home warranty for the buyer to give the buyer peace of mind after the closing. Provide a closing cost allowance for the buyer to help them be able to afford your home. Price your home to sell, not sit. A comparative market analysis from a local realtor will demonstrate what other properties have sold for in your neighborhood. Well-priced homes sell faster with less hassle. Houses are selling fast and sellers are getting top dollar. For all the answers, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we're calling the show online, Joey Clark Live. I'm Joey. Eddie Bader here in the studio.
How you doing, Joey?
Doing all right. For those of you just tuning in online, we got a humble amount, but we got enough on here. This is just a humble little talk radio show out of Montgomery, Alabama. And we're enjoying our time here, I suppose. But I'm about to go to the stupid.
Oh.
That I was talking about earlier, how dumb our discourse has become. Let's go to the First Lady.
Oh, boy.
What venue do you think she was in that amplified the stupidity? And yet, at the same time, crystal clear moral clarity?
I would guess it'd be somewhere in D.C.
Mm-mm.
No?
I think TV.
Oh, good Lord. She go on CNN or The View or some crap.
You guessed it.
She's down in hell.
The View.
Oh, she's in the pits of hell.
Let's listen in.
Poll. How do you turn those numbers around with 5 months out? And are you fearful of what a second Trump term could look like?
Or a third, as Donald Trump says. So we are going to meet people where they are. We're going to go to college campuses. We're going to go to just every state that we can get into. I've been traveling every single day. Joe has been traveling as much as possible. And we're not going to take anything for granted. And those polls are going to turn, I'm confident of it, because as time goes on and as people start to focus a little bit more about what's at stake and start to become educated on the issues and the differences between the two men, I believe that Americans are going to choose good over evil.
Yes. Dr. Biden, women are like
Morons. Good over evil. That's what this has come down to.
Well, yeah, fear. I wonder what college campuses she's going to go to. Is she going to make sure she goes to ones where they're not protesting the Jewish people? Where's she going to go? I mean, if they're protesting the Jews, then maybe she'll go there and she feel like she'll fit right in. And college campuses ain't the place to be right this second.
Well, and I would just suggest to the First Lady that actually the system we're living under is evil. And the idea that we could put good and evil in their starkest terms on the ballot is just nonsense. You're a moron, and I don't know why anybody listens to you. You weren't even elected to anything.
Right.
So tired of First Ladies. Tired of them.
Hold on now.
We don't have a monarch.
Trump's old lady didn't bother you none.
I was tired of Melania, too.
Really?
Well, remember the clip I play of Melania is her not wanting to be first lady and tired of the pomp and
That's
circumstance.
the only thing, honestly, and not being funny, but that's one of the few things I remember about her whole first lady run is, I don't want to do this.
Right. I don't think she wants to do it again either.
I got to think you're right, Joey.
No, but it's just like, we got to have this pet project.
No, I don't
or like,
understand
with Michelle Obama, the kids are fat.
How that
So
works?
let's have them grow vegetables in the
Last
garden.
time I checked, those kids are still fat.
Oh, yeah.
And those vegetables, well, they just kind of got chucked to the side.
Well, and plus here in the South, we'll cook up some vegetables. We're like, we
We'll
got
fry 'em.
We'll fry that
I
okra.
put that
up
in some
and-
bacon.
Hey, did you put enough lard in those
Right,
collards?
Exactly. It's like, these are lard free. Well, what the hell?
What we need to do is smash up the corn, get into meal.
That's right. That's right.
Put it again, more lard, and you got yourself some corn fritters.
Exactly right.
Mhm.
Joey. You cut some jalapenos up in there.
It's just the stupid. The stupid is going to be strong this
Yeah.
cycle. I mean, can we take more of it?
Likely to play
Got no
a
choice.
crucial role in this in November. And we've heard Trump bragging about stripping women's reproductive rights. 14 states have a total ban on abortion, and now IVF is
Yes.
under attack.
Yes.
How dangerous a time is this for
Lying harpy.
women, and how much worse could it get in a
Miserable people.
second or third, as you mentioned, Trump presidency?
Well, it could get a lot worse under a Trump presidency. I mean, you have to believe him when he uses words like dictator, bloodbath, third term, violence.
foul
We've
language.
seen it. So when he says these words, believe him. Don't think this isn't going to happen.
That's right.
And women's rights, absolutely women's rights and IVF. I mean, we have to have a choice. And Joe wants to codify Roe.
Yeah,
and
he's got
we
it.
have
He
to.
has
We
to.
have to fight hard so we get it back.
Yeah, because abortion ain't a bloodbath.
Joe don't want to do nothing but take a nap. That's all Joe wants to do.
But this is the sort of stuff, and to be fair, you're going to hear a lot of stupid crap coming from like folks on the Trump side too. That we're all good. We are the forces of light against the forces of darkness that Joe Biden represents.
Preach.
It's like whatever turns you on, I guess, man. Like to get you out to vote. Goodness gracious. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, missed the call back off here, man. I've already been on there once.
Go ahead.
What's up, Overnight?
Well, it was about Michelle and how she ruined my McDonald's French fries.
That is very true.
When she convinced the idiot who was running McDonald's at the time to change their grease.
Change the oil.
Yeah, like it's not like everybody knew French fries was bad before you get grease. It wasn't a secret.
And the taste was, honestly, there was a
Well, yeah.
difference in taste. Huge difference.
Well,
in
because they
taste.
use beef tallow,
Yeah,
right?
the good stuff.
And beef tallow is not bad. Like you shouldn't eat it all the time. It's not. It's better than processed like vegetable.
But
oil.
it's McDonald's.
Like you said, Joey, a French fry was not health food.
Right. Never meant to be. I mean,
That was a good one.
see, I forgot about that, but that literally changed the taste of fries, and they're not as good anymore.
And now there are more and more Americans are considering fast food a luxury.
Well, you see the prices?
Oh yeah,
dude, you can go to a sit-down restaurant and get a burger and meal for $12.99, or you can go to McDonald's and get the same burger and meal for $13.99, and probably somebody's going to yell at you in the process.
Yeah, probably.
And if your bank information doesn't get stolen.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah. But I did hear they're going to come out with a $5 menu, so that's going to be some quality stuff.
Mm-hmm. The $5 menu, right?
Remember the dollar menu, Joey?
It's never ending.
No, it's not.
Like more inflation, more debt.
It's a permanent grift on the American
more
people.
war. And of course, all the moral insights of our moral betters who, at the permission of their own conscience, are like, we're going to do these things to you. And we promise that we're not going to go too far with it.
They always do.
Yeah, they do. Of course they do. Because their conscience allows it. I'm doing this to you for your own good. Essentially, you're like a child. We manipulate you like children every time election season comes around. So why would we stop manipulating you once we actually get in power? Got a lot of plans to make everything wonderful for everybody.
Not me, though. Never seems to be wonderful for me, Joey.
Right.
If you were better off, I saw it this morning. If you were better off 4 years ago than you are today, you're either an illegal alien or there's something else. And that's the truth.
Well, and speaking of stupid, let's just keep going with it.
All right.
Because we have here, she's not on The View in this clip, but she's on The View. Anna Navarro.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she's the one who, when all the stuff about Hunter Biden was coming up, and said, Joe just loves Hunter.
Loves his son.
He loves Hunter,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just being mean.
Yep.
Which, again,
sometimes you got to be mean.
I don't expect a lot out of these folks other than this sort of propaganda, but just want people to be aware of the propaganda that's out there. In particular, this is, what would I call this? Like, you're seeing the change in the polls.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw this with black voters deciding, yeah, screw the Democrats. Maybe I'll go with Trump this time.
A few more every time, yeah.
You're also seeing it with Hispanic voters.
Yep.
And Anna Navarro is going to address that.
Oh.
See, they addressed it with black voters that he's still really racist, guys.
Yeah, I heard.
And we still got work to do.
Okay.
No, the work is still to be done, Eddie.
I think we've done enough.
No, there hasn't been a reckoning just yet. Stick to the script. Don't change the plans. Don't improvise. Still got work to do. So here's Anna Navarro on the Hispanic vote. Here's sort of the response to the shifting poll numbers. Let's hear her out.
The third thing, Jim, and this is the truth, and you and I know this, as Latinos, there are some Latino immigrants who forget they came here as immigrants and who want to shut the door behind them, and who think being anti-immigrant somehow is going to make them pass as more American, pass as whatever. And that's a very stupid attitude to have.
What a racist jerk. It's like, no, you don't believe the things honestly. You're just trying to pass as more American. Whereas, you know, as I appeal to my Latino heritage, I'm authentically the Latino. You're just trying to pass as something. Just shove it up your ass, Anna Navarro. I would say that if I was Latino. I'm not.
I believe she's just.
I'll come up with another reason to say that.
Just saying, carry on the invasion.
Yeah.
But I've talked to several Latinos that I know very well, all too well. And a lot of them said, you know, the reason I left
scumbag
is the reason that these folks that are coming in is the reason I left. You guys are letting everybody in.
No, it's just, I hate collectivism. Well, I hate it when somebody sidles up next. Hey, you believe in God. Mm-hmm. I'm not thinking they're going to engage in a theological discussion. They're more going, you're part of my club.
Mm-hmm.
People do it all the time, especially in politics. But one of the most the nastiest, most noxious forms of this collectivism is this stupid race pride and guilt.
Oh, yeah.
That you're authentically this, authentically that, whatever. You're a traitor if you don't hew to the right ideology. It's bullcrap. It's continuing to hold us back from what was, I thought, the actual dream of a place like the United States of America. And yet especially election year, you get this crap. And the beautiful thing, hallelujah, is that people are waking up to it. A lot of people.
They are, Joe.
But it's a battle between good and evil. Well, I look around, I see a bunch of evil manipulators on every side. And what we need is a big middle finger. I almost said something else. Big effing finger. To tell everybody that's trying to play these collectivist games, go jump in a lake.
Yeah.
Leave us alone. Set the American people free. Now, do I have a lot of hopes that Trump is going to go smash the deep state? No, I don't. But, as I said last week, I'm here for the dancing.
Yeah.
And for the fun. And for the hysterics. Like I just engaged in. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Where's Papa B? I thought he called in.
Say he's going to call back.
Okay, call back, Papa B. I'm done with my ranting. For some reason, Anna Navarro brings it out in me. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228. If you want to get in on the program. Oh, now the jury has requested Cohen and Pecker testimony.
Yeah, I got a note passed through there.
So I guess we're just waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that way.
Well, here's Andy McCarthy on the scene earlier today, talking about the judge's instructions. This was on Fox. Listen in.
One quote from Josh Steinglass yesterday during this 5-hour wrap-up. He said, any single one of the unlawful means is enough for you to conclude that the Trump Tower conspiracy violated New York state election law. You don't have to agree on which unlawful means were involved. Andy, can you interpret that for us? Because I thought they were arguing federal law. Or did he get to that later?
Well, I can interpret it, but I can't, bring it into the line with the United States Constitution. But here we go. What's supposed to happen in a criminal trial is a prosecutor has to prove every element of an offense beyond a reasonable doubt. So every crime, which is a creature of some statute, has different elements. One is a mental element, and then there are the things that you have to do to commit the crime. So like with bank robbery, you have to, take money by force from a financial institution and do it intentionally. And those are the things the prosecutor has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. What this judge is telling this jury in this kind of make it up as you go along New York State prosecution of federal law is that when they get to the end of the rainbow and we get to the elements of the offense, the jury doesn't have to be in agreement on what it is exactly that Trump did or what he was trying to commit or conceal when he allegedly falsified his business records. So they're going to give the jury a menu of choices and tell the jury that some of them may believe that this was the criminal objective. Some of them may believe something else was, but that they don't have to be unanimous on that. I actually think that's pretty outrageous, but In this case, I'm not sure it makes the top 10 of outrageous.
Yep.
I just don't get that.
Yeah,
and
that's where we are.
So a
justice.
A judge can do these kind of things, and of course, even though the world knows it's wrong, there's no pushback on him whatsoever. Still a judge at the end of the day. No consequences.
Now, in other news, you know this whole stink that the media has been making about Justice Alito?
Yeah. The flags?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he's now declining to step aside.
Shocker.
Or recuse himself.
I was hoping he'd do more than that, but okay.
In letters to members of Congress calling for his recusal, Alito said that the two incidents involving flags at his home in Virginia and a vacation property in New Jersey, first reported by the New York Times, quote, do not meet the conditions for recusal set out in the Supreme Court's newly adopted ethics code. Alito said that in both instances, a reasonable person who's not motivated by political or ideological considerations or desire to affect the outcome of the Supreme Court cases would conclude that no recusal was required.
Reasonable person.
He added he had no involvement in the decision to fly either flag, saying they were raised by his wife, Martha Ann.
Okay. Throw her under the bus, but all right. Whatever.
Yeah, and let's just create some fake controversy because we don't like your symbols and get this guy off the court. It's just plain as day.
Right.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Charles.
Hey, Charles, how you doing?
Doing good, man. All I can say about all this mess going on with what you were just talking about and what's going on with President Trump, our forefathers turning over in our grave.
Oh, no doubt.
I can tell you that right now because we have turned into some weak SOBs. Because if Americans and patriots were as tough as our forefathers were, we would have already marched on all them places and took all them places back. Because you can't show me anywhere where the people have stood up in their country and didn't take their country back. You can always, the people can always take control of their government. And we're talking about the United States of America.
Yeah.
For us to just sit and keep watching all this. There's absolutely no reason. And no, Joey, I do not work for the FBI, okay?
I was about to say, Fed.
Fed.
I mean, I'm saying what millions of other patriots are thinking.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're about a day late and $1 short. I mean, it's time that we do something about all this because we're just sitting and watching it, just like the situation Canada's in. They can't stand up for themselves because they have no means to stand up for themselves. They have no guns.
Right.
They have no guns, and the guns they have to be kept at sporting clubs locked up. And so they're screwed. Canada's screwed. They might as well just bend on over for Trudeau. I mean, because they're going to be able to do anything they want to them people. Them people, liberty went out the window about 10 years ago with Canada. And everybody kept telling them, they're chipping away at you. They're chipping away. You better stand up. And they never stood up. And it's exactly what's going on with us since Obama was elected. Well, actually, it started back in Clinton. So, I mean, it's just, it's a terrible thing, man.
Frustrating.
Really.
Very frustrating.
Well, I appreciate the call, Charles. Do.
Thank you, buddy.
272-9228. No, it's almost like how we go back to this idea of the boomers are just trying to relive the past or use the same old tools in the box there. It's like a new generation, and I don't just mean younger, but a new generation needs to define what the country is and what they are, and not with stupid corporate PR polished talking points, but with something actually real.
Sure.
Because the more I watch the news, I'm like, this is just fake bullshit.
Exactly what it is, Joey.
Insincere. contrived, manipulative. To Charles's point, I think there are millions of Americans who tune this stuff out because they know that. And they wish that they weren't on the hook, but they are. Because, again, our moral betters have decided that their power is necessary to do all sorts of things to you in your life. Or folks have convinced themselves, well, if that power wasn't there, I would be so without.
Oof.
Yeah, sure. You can bring up all the problems in history in this republic. This country has had plenty. But when we're now a quarter of a century into the 21st century, we can't keep hearkening back to centuries before. Something's got to give. And in many ways, we are not the same country we once were. Time for, again, a new generation to redefine who they are and what this place we call America actually stands for. And my hope is that it doesn't come at the ballot box. Is that there will be a reckoning and an awakening in this country that transcends politics. But it's going to take more and more intrepid people creating the systems, alternative systems, so people can actually reach one another and speak freely. Right now, that Leviathan state, with its tentacles all through the corporate press and academia, still is quite strong. But there is hope. Like, people keep talking about banning stuff that's bad. Even the right wing's doing this. Like, let's ban books.
Yep.
Or ban porn or whatever. I'm like, you do know the internet exists. And like, say somebody wanted to actually, not like curate a library. Somebody actually wanted to ban a book, Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
I can create millions of copies of this book within seconds. How are you going to ban it? Oh, we'll make an example of this person. We'll put the screws of this person. Yeah. The beautiful thing is we're free because technology has allowed us to go this direction. I just don't think it's going to be some grand election. I think it's going to be things that are actually going to surprise everyone. Damn it, we want something real.
Ready to be surprised, but I don't have much faith.
Yeah.
Just as my age group, when's the last good win we had? And everything's
What do you
up.
mean win?
When's the last
like
time?
Miracle on Ice?
No.
No, that was in the 80s, right?
No, not just that, but when's the last time good news was delivered? Gas prices are up. World's on the brink of war. I think U.S. is more divided now than ever before. Everything, and I can't help but to feel like a lot of that is by design. Divide and conquer.
Well, we're building more electric charging stations.
It's good for the crackheads to get the copper. But, and I hate saying it, but unless we have some type of event, and it'll have to be a huge event that brings us back together, we're all going down the divided path. We need an event that reminds us we're Americans.
Well, the event that was a victory for the right was the overturning at Roe v. Wade. They don't treat it like a victory.
They don't.
They treat
don't
it like the
a
dog who
victory.
caught the car.
But agreed. It's one of those things that also helps divide the country. It's dividing the country. And I'm not looking for a win for one side or the other. I'm looking for a win for all of us.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But there's a corrupt ruling class that ain't giving up their power
You're right.
anytime soon. Got to keep building ways around them.
Oh, yeah, I'm building.
You are?
The gallows, baby.
No, don't. No. No. Go listen to your Led Zeppelin 3 and enjoy yourself. Yeah, but don't be saying stuff like that on these airwaves, all right? Yeah, okay, you're just singing the song now, right?
But I love that song.
Right.
You don't like that song?
That's a good song.
All right.
They went all acoustic and folky.
And if you listen to the words, though, you listen to the message, such a great song. That's such a great song.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody got screwed in that.
You remember the Lemon song by Zeppelin?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty, actually.
Not my fave.
You don't like that?
I love their music. But some of their stuff
pretty
gets me
raw.
better than others. Like Going to California.
Oh, great song.
Not something I expected from Led Zeppelin at all.
The Madison Square Garden performance of Since I've Been Loving You.
I'll have to check that out.
So good. So good. Like the guitar work, the vocal work.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. Favorite Zeppelin song, though, is probably Over the Hills and Far Away.
Really?
But I am at this point where it's sort of played out. If those songs come on randomly, like I didn't pick them,
it's
I
a whole
love
different
them.
thing, ain't it?
Yeah, but
yeah,
I can see why. I wish you could go back to those teenage years where you're discovering this great
first time
library of American popular music.
Yeah.
And it is remarkable to think back at all that stuff, hearing it for the first time. Great rock and roll, great funk and soul music. I mean, I'm still light on country. I could do a deep dive on country, so there's still that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and some of it sticks with you. And then, of course, everybody's got an era where it's like their one-hit wonders.
Oh, sure.
Their particular things.
80s for me, yeah, high school.
And I'm 90s, early odds guy. Like, that's the music that, like Blink-182.
Right.
Right.
When you hear it, it's just random.
Or Sugar Ray. You know what I mean? Like, that's my era.
And honestly, Sugar Ray is one of those guys, after you find out behind the music and you hear him on other stuff, pretty solid dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But it just seems like we're in this lap of luxury. Like, we had it pretty damn good. A lot of us. I mean, boomers, Gen X, millennials, Z even. Like, we got it pretty damn good. I just feel like it can only be so good for so long. Like, your actions have consequences.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to say that of an individual. Maybe you get away with it. But when an entire nation now seems to be hell-bent on trying to remember the good times and the nostalgia, like we were just doing, and yet doesn't correct their ways, something's got to give.
Agreed.
I'm just worried that Americans aren't ready for it. They'd rather listen to old one-hit wonders.
I don't know. I think there's a section and segment of society that's ready for it. It's going to be hurt.
Well,
I mean,
I guess the truth is you don't
bring the
need
pain.
You don't need a majority. You just need an alternative. The people that drive the culture in America right now are not the majority.
Oh, no. That's right.
It's a very small group of folks that create all the choices that you make, so to speak.
That's what I don't understand, how it's so few.
So it's a matter of building up a new elite,
Well,
let's say.
But if you look at a buffalo herd,
Mhm.
all right, it just takes a few guys to disrupt that herd and to guide that herd off the cliff. I mean, it's not the majority of the herd that's guiding them. It's just those few.
All right. And we'll see. Sorry to get so introspective here on a Wednesday after Memorial Day, but it just ain't great, folks. And I still remain lacking in hope that this election, no matter who wins, is going to make much of a difference in the underlying problems.
Yeah.
No, that's why I keep saying something's got to surprise us. Let's hope it's not too calamitous. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years. And now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Hi, everybody. Our quiet weather pattern continues, and that's okay with us. Tonight, I think we should stay dry. We will be cloudy at times. Overnight, low temperature down to about 67. Tomorrow, look for a sun and cloud mix with a high temperature in the middle 80s. We will be in the upper 80s, still dry Friday, still lots of sunshine. And over the weekend, first weekend of June, look for some scattered random storms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours, Saturday and Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, as much as I might be worried for everyone in the future of this nation, when you get back to the politics, I mentioned this earlier, the Democratic Party structure is in full-blown freakout over Biden. Actually, those aren't my words. That is the headline from Politico. And they write, a pervasive sense of fear has settled in at the highest levels of the Democratic Party over President Joe Biden's re-election prospects, even among office holders and strategists who had previously expressed confidence about the coming battle with Donald Trump. All year, Democrats had been on a joyless and exhausting grind through the 2024 election. But now, nearly 5 months from the election, anxiety has morphed into palpable trepidation, according to more than a dozen party leaders and operatives. And the gap between what Democrats will say on TV or in print and what they'll text their friends has only grown as worries have surged about Biden's prospects. By the way, Politico doesn't write something like this unless all these folks who say different things on camera compared to in their private time get in touch with Politico. This is definitely written for a reason. But you don't want to be that guy who is on the record saying we're doomed, or the campaign's bad, or Biden's making mistakes. Nobody wants to be that guy, said a Democratic operative in close touch with the White House, and granted anonymity to speak freely to Politico. But Biden's stubbornly poor polling and the stakes of the election are creating the freakout, this same operative said. This isn't, oh my God, Mitt Romney might become president. It's, oh my God, the democracy might end. We're not a democracy. And I'm not doing the whole, boomer uncle thing, too. No, we're actually a republic. No, we're not a democracy. We're kind of a corporatist hellhole, if you ask me. But despite everything, Trump is running ahead of Biden in most battleground states. He raised far more money in April and the landscape may only become worse for Democrats, with Trump's hush money trial concluding, and another, this one involving the president's son, set to begin in Delaware. The concern has metastasized in recent days as Trump jaunted to some of the country's most liberal territories, including New Jersey and New York, to woo Hispanic and black voters as he boasted, improbably, that he would win in those areas. Interesting. So as much as we're freaking out, Eddie, it seems the Democratic Party is also freaking out. Everybody, I think, with their wits about them, has come to the conclusion of like, yeah.
Has anyone told us that we just need to relax?
I'm sure there are a few of those folks who are living all right.
Yeah.
Like people that make money off of having assets.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably like, what's wrong?
People making money off the government.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Things are fine. Stop freaking out.
Our 401ks never look so good.
Like the military's strong. Look at all these jobs we're bringing back. It's fine. It's fine.
Don't look behind the curtain.
Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke, how you doing?
Now, Jerry Clark, why you want to depress me, man, even more? I mean, these two choices we got, and one man crippling the other, and he dragging his leg. What's up, man?
I'm just telling the truth. I'm telling the truth.
I mean,
I'm the truth teller.
Then what made it so bad that, but why wouldn't an independent man nowadays and want to swing back Democratic way or whatever? Hey, I don't have a choice. I mean, Trump hanging out with the troops and everything for a court, in the courtroom for 2 or 3 weeks and everything, and he still can't get ahead of the man in the polls.
Right, Biden's having a lot of problems.
Yeah, Trump hanging out with the horse for 2 or 3 weeks. I want to go ahead and say it sounds good when I say the word horse instead of streetwalkers or whatever. I don't know.
Wait, did you say horse, like in horse face, or
horse?
Oh,
horse.
okay, yeah,
H-O-
like hose. All right, you're right.
The young folks say hose. But it's sad, y'all.
No, and it is depressing, the state of things. Like, we are living in an age where the happiest things you see sometimes are just looking back. Yeah. And that goes even for younger generations.
Then on top of that, the white folk trying to blame the Negroes for all the crime in Montgomery, all the shooting going on, trying to blame the Negroes for all that right there. Yeah, I don't like none of that. But now
what do you mean?
I'm just listening.
What do you mean
you guys talk about it. So what now?
Like, what do you mean?
Well, ever since this nice lady got shot.
Yeah.
All I be hearing, they blame the Negro for everything. They get happening with the guns nowadays and the shooting in Montgomery. It's been going on for years and years and years and years. But all of a sudden, that's all I've been hearing for the last 2 or 3 days. But the sheriff came on yesterday and made a point about it. That bill that they passed, it did affect this thing. Yes, it did in a major way. Okay? But don't nobody want to listen to the damn police, do they? Huh? Mr. Clark?
You don't have the officers to enforce your stupid law anyway here in Montgomery.
No, I heard the mayor, not the mayor, but I heard Chief Cunningham speak on that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about the fact that their hands are tied, Mr. George. Okay? But
now, how many guns were they confiscating at random traffic stops before the law changed?
Well, we didn't have all these random shootings. These all over the city, did we?
Yeah, we did, dude.
Yeah, we did.
I remember. I talked about it in 2014.
Why'd they close down Montgomery Mall, dude?
Not to this extent right here now.
Why'd they close down Montgomery Mall?
Well, no, and I'm getting tired of the fact. I'm getting real tired of the fact that you can't say with a straight face it's young black men killing other young black men without somebody going, "Oh, you're calling all the." Or you say it's all the black people's problem? No, I'm saying it's a specific group of people's problem.
It's white and false because you guys not helping us out. Y'all running like hell and not helping us out with this thing. Stand your ground and hold that gun on your side and let's win this battle together. That's what I'm talking about. Huh?
Bull crap.
Start running. Damn it, let's fight.
Well, then when they run to the city council meeting, you're like, well, where was this all years ago? I think you're just being an ass.
That ain't no crap. That's a bunch of crap. We need to run in the streets out here, handle this thing in the streets. Man on man and woman on woman, and let's do this damn thing.
Nah,
y'all, but y'all too busy running in the damn woods of that Pike Road, hiding and going on. Only time you want to come to the city when you want to go to work or go to East Chase every once in a while or whatever. Let's do this thing together.
What does that
as
mean?
Americans.
What does
as
that,
Americans
what does that even
and as
mean?
Christians, I hear these people talk about they Christians and everything in the city of Montgomery and got a church on every corner, damn near. But you don't act like it. You don't like you love everybody and want to, get upset when the black guy gets shot or the white guy gets shot. Get upset the same way every time when somebody gets shot. Don't wait till a certain race gets shot, then all of a sudden you want to stand up and have wind in your jaws all of a sudden. Just a talk. I'm messing with you today, Joey. How you been doing, brother?
No, I think it's a serious issue, and this racial bullcrap keeps getting brought up.
No.
It's bullcrap. It's a blinder. It is a disease of the mind.
Bro, I didn't hear anything from most of the white citizens in this city. No boy complaining about hiding here.
What, you didn't hear people calling into the show for years and years? No, you didn't hear it. Are you deaf?
Downtown. I didn't hear nobody talking about running downtown to the city hall when somebody black got shot.
Jesus Christ. Been talking about this myself for a long time. I've been trying with the right tone of voice.
You do.
Back when Todd Strange was mayor, I remember I had folks on all the time on the Public Affairs Show to talk about this crap.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about some of these callers calling in here running their mouth. Those are the one I'm talking about. You don't hear that, all right. You don't hear that, all right, y'all. You guys, we done got beef about this same thing, me and you.
No, it's just, I'm tired of it. Like, let's solve the problem.
But we need to, that's what I'm saying. The way we're going to solve the problem, all races got to stick together and take the city back, take every city back, unless you want to keep running and let them take the ground like they do in the wars and everything, they, gain ground and take over that ground. So y'all going to let them take over the grounds continuously? Or you want to fight back?
I'm just tired of the assumption.
You want to have all your guns on your side. You pass law, so you want to be strapped. So let's go out there and let's do this thing. Howsoever y'all want to do it. I use the word howsoever. People that haven't heard that up in the city before. But talking about it ain't getting nothing done, is it? Huh?
Well,
we talked to with damn blue in the face about, but don't point fingers on what race is doing this and what race doing that. It's time I follow that right there. But it starts at the top. Our government got to pay a law where somebody get their ass locked up. Don't hit the ground anymore. Like tomorrow or something like that.
But then if the laws get too stringent, you're now implementing the new Jim Crow. So it's just like everybody's got a frickin' axe to grind.
Let's do some Jim Crows or whatever the hell it takes to get this thing organized.
No, what it takes is enforcing basic rules.
Rename it something else.
Enforcing basic rules.
Huh? Well, my brother and his wife in Finland scared to come to the States anymore. They said, hell, we're shooting too much over here. Huh? But now I gotta go. I know I called at the wrong time to get all up in this thing. But Joey, how your love life coming, boy?
Don't get off the phone, you jackass. No, we can't solve problems, actually, folks. We can't do anything. We pretend like we govern ourselves. We elect folks, and they don't do squat. Or they make excuses and point fingers at one another. And yeah, it might come a day, Duke, where I say, to hell with this city! I only have one family member left here. To hell with y'all! But I'm not there yet. That'll be someday, possibly. People have plenty of right to do that. See, I'm tired of the nonsense and all the fake solutions and all the talking around the problem. Well, everybody assumes, oh, this is what you really meant. It's bull crap. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
If you're new to Medicare, the ins and outs can be complicated. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, our local advisors are here to help answer your questions, and we're here to help you find a Medicare plan that fits your needs. Visit bcbsalmedicare.com or call 1-844-627-5612. Now, Medicare, that's focused on you. Blue Advantage is a PPO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Blue Advantage PPO depends on contract renewal.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Terry. Hey, Terry from Prattville Carpet. How you doing, sir?
What is going on, guys? I've not spoken to you guys for forever.
It's been too long.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd work on your accent a little better, obviously.
Well, listen, Eddie, the last time I actually did, I don't know if you remember, I did your mum's house down
yes,
in
you did.
Montgomery.
Yes, you did. And what a wonderful job you did.
I meant to tell you, I never ever told you before, but she was begging me. She said she was so disappointed in you and what you've become that she wanted to adopt me. So,
this sounds like my mother, yes. I don't have a problem believing this story at all. This sounds like my mother.
I managed to talk her off that edge, and I said, no, keep him, give him one more chance.
Well, I appreciate that, Terry.
She was a lovely lady.
She was so impressed.
Nice to say about you.
She was so impressed with you guys from the get-go.
Well, I'm glad. Well, as I say, I mean that's what we do. As everybody knows, Ray's actually in Rome.
Yes, that's right.
He was, I believe, he was going to the Vatican. Believe it or not, he had an audience or whatever it was that the Pope does on a regular basis. So he was actually going to see the Pope today. So when in Rome, do as the Romans
do. There you go.
But he's having a fantastic time. I've not spoken to him today. I spoke to him yesterday, but he'll be back in another week or 10 days or something. So he's got a whole load of European experiences to find out. But just like your mum, Eddie, I always tell people, because everybody asks, "Hey, do you do? Can you do carpet? Do you do wood?" Yep. We do all the flooring. We're not like the big box stores. We don't sell washing machines and we don't sell pansies. All we do are floors. The guys that we've got for measuring, for installing, they've all been here for forever. I've been here 25 years now. So we've got a lot of experience. We come out, we measure, we do it free of charge. We give you all the help and information you need. And we are completely unbiased, I would say. If nothing else, we're completely honest. So it starts, first of all, with a phone call to 285-8117.
Yep.
Speak to myself, Ray, David, Chad, Bart, even Ronnie, if he's in the office. You would have to make an appointment, though. It's actually easier to see the Pope than it is to see Ray sometimes.
I see.
Man. But,
folks, that number, 285-8117. When you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Terry on the phone. Great hearing from you, Terry.
It was,
really
man.
is.
Well, hopefully we'll speak to you tomorrow again.
All right. Look forward to it, Terry. Thank you, brother.
All right, brother.
Well, after that rant, that was a pleasant
I love Terry.
end.
Such a good guy.
But, by the way, everything I just said, I'm serious. Like, at a certain point, it's like, to hell with it. I'll go do something else with my life. I'm not there yet, though. On that happy note, Greg Budell and Happy Hour. They're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.